to your garden, I eat from your tree, I step in your river, and it takes me deep. Your heart is my temple, your tears rinse my feet. I walk out, I'm able to carry your peace. It reminds me of a song that I heard long ago. Maybe I've always known that you were right there. A simple melody playing over
Okay, we are live. We're live in the building. I guess we are live right now. Thank you for everybody who's watching in the chat. I see you guys chiming in. I was just about to type something, but we here. We going. We just gonna roll with it. We gonna roll with it right now, cause it's things happening.
All I hear is Jamie, I'm sorry.
Yeah. All I heard was "I'm sorry," and then all of a sudden I see. Go ahead. Yeah, I see "I'm sorry," and then I see us coming up on the live screen. Like, what is happening? Hey, shout out to everybody in the chat. I see Karen Dickerson. I see George in the chat. I see Jennifer Ann in the chat. Courtney Davis, what's up, sis? Christine DiMorado in the chat. Kier Sawyer in the chat. Shout out to everybody who's in there. Listen, give this video a like, give it a thumbs up. We still got the crew coming in, sitting down, getting it together. We wanted to try to start on time, but you are watching Young Lion TV. Let's go.
Young lion, everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, won't you get up and start fighting? Everywhere I look, they're hiding. Young lion.
Yes, sir. That's what it is. You're watching Young Lion TV. We are here in the Lion's Den, ready to get it going. We got some snacks. We got the fellas here.
Them
We got a
jalapeno
full-
things are delicious.
We got
by
the
way.
full house in the building. Yeah. Yo, it looks good with everybody in here, man.
Yeah, full house.
Yeah, we're here in the Lion's Den. We're here to talk about the things that have been going on this past week. Since the last podcast, there's been a lot happening. But before we do that, again, shout out to everybody who's in the chat. Please hit that like button and share this video. The algorithm has been suppressing us like crazy. People aren't even getting notifications because like the stuff that we talk about, the topics, even the titles that I put in sometimes are already flagged from the jump. So we really need y'all support to help us grow this thing, expand the kingdom, expand the pride, because it's the only way we can keep this community growing. We appreciate each and every one of you who show up every week and support this thing. If you want to become a member, we have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/YoungLionTV. You can find that on the web and you can sign up. There's different tiers if you want to become a member. Shout out to Emma who just upgraded his membership to the Young Lion level.
Oh no!
Yeah. So shout out to him, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. He's been a Patreon member for about a year now, and then I just saw that he upgraded his level. You know, so
Wow.
he getting the value that he feels like, and especially he's been coming to the shows and stuff.
Yeah.
So like everything that you guys support just goes into us just trying to build this thing up, get better equipment, keep this thing going, keep the lights on in here, and you know, just expand this. We want to get into doing some more content, different things. We have some big plans. So if the more that we can get you guys to support, the easier it is for us to grow this thing. Also, if you want to just throw a donation at us just to support what we're doing, if you enjoy the conversation or if you feel like this is a topic that people should hear, you can hit us on the Cash App. It's just Young Lion TV on Cash App. Simple, easy. Throw a little meat to the lions. And yeah, shout out to everybody who's in here. Again, hit the share button, hit the like button. But I got the fellas with me. I got Mr. Build Right, James
All right, I'm
Garcia in the building. Switch the camera over there, Mom.
I meant to do it.
He's not Mr. Builder.
Not that one. Not that one, Mom.
He's
Not
built it
that one.
wrong.
There we go. And we got in the middle there my brother Stan
What up?
Golden in the building. He's back. And we got Jake here, of course, and Moan
guys?
with me. And then holding it down on the production. The reason why we started before we were ready, my mom was jumping the gun. We got my mom here
Mom
again.
said, we gonna get this started. I got this.
My mom is here again, sitting in on the production tip. Yeah, she didn't realize that we weren't ready to go yet, so she was like, "Well, they always go live after that song, so that means just hit the button." But I appreciate the tenacity, Mom. I appreciate it. You're paying attention. It shows me that you're paying attention. But you did a great job last week. I just want to say, and
Thank you.
I'm glad to have you back.
Thank you.
And feel free to do more chiming in this week, Mom.
I
you were,
did last week.
but I feel like you were she was a little afraid to say, to speak up sometimes. She didn't want to interject too much, but I'm just giving you the green light.
I asked Lise
Hey,
if she was coming down. She said no.
Yeah, she said because she was like, "Am I doing the podcast tonight?" I was like, "Do you want to do it? Because you can if you want to." She was like, thinking about it. She was like, "I'll do it next time." I'm like, okay. But yeah. So what's been going on with everybody? How's everybody been? How's everybody been doing? What's been happening since I last saw y'all? I see you all the time.
Yeah, you see me all the time.
we have our we need to come up with a name for our daily
Kitchen
podcast, the
podcast.
Kitchen Cast.
Drinking coffee and talking.
Hi, James and Stan.
Hey, I'm good, man. I'm good. I hurt my back last week, so
Oh, that's right. That's
How
why
is
you
it?
weren't here.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I just I think I pulled a muscle, but it was probably one of the worst pain I felt, man. I'm working on a townhouse in a 3-story building, and they have a magnetic lock, and it's like the smallest vestibule ever. So they have to buzz me in. So I'm trying to carry a saw. I'm trying to carry all this material, and I'm trying to hold the door open while bringing in material, and I stretched the wrong way, and I think I pulled something. But it definitely hurts. It's not as bad as it was, but it's definitely hurt.
It's called getting old and doing too much.
That was
do
definitely
too
doing
much.
too much.
Yeah.
I was trying to do way too much on that one.
Yeah.
And it's always like the simplest thing, like you've done it a million times, and then it's like, bam, man. But it got me.
Yeah.
It was painful.
What about you, Stan?
Good.
What's been
Everything's
going
good. None. I think Nita got done late last time. That's why I couldn't come.
Yeah.
So
We
had Stanley and homework and getting to bed. So.
No, I was gonna say me and Stan went to Kyle's wedding. Shout out to Kyle.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
Yeah, I
Rand.
saw that.
Oh, congratulations
They
to them
finally
for
tied the
tying the
knot.
knot.
Finally.
Yeah.
After
Mr.
how
and
long?
Mrs. Ticket.
Yeah, they've been together for years.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. But their wedding was fun.
Weddings are fun, man. People
Yeah.
always talk about how they hate going to weddings. I mean, to me, weddings are fun. I always enjoy like the vibe of like
Yeah.
people, because that moment is like it's a different moment for people in relationship. I feel like it's like a pure sense of like, okay, in this at least in that moment, there's like this sense of there's love here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't always end up that way, but at weddings you feel
Right.
like a genuine love.
You do.
Yeah,
From everybody.
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't always end up that way.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good though. It was
Celebratory. I'd
Yeah.
say.
so
There's a closeness even with the
Yeah.
family. You feel it. Everybody's celebrating together. They're honoring two people in love who are trying to do the right thing.
right. When people get too caught up in the day, then actual marriage.
Yeah.
I think
Right.
that becomes the issue.
Yeah, and that happens a lot. Yeah, that happens a
Yeah.
lot. Unfortunately, in this day and age, people focus too much on the day.
You actually never had a wedding.
No, I never had one. Me and Mo never had
I
one.
never had one.
That's right.
Yeah. I will one day. One day we're going to do
All right.
a wedding,
My
Just
next
like-
one probably.
Yeah.
And that was funny actually because Kyle worked. It's all people from Lowe's who knows. I was waiting for it, dude. Like
Oh,
was-
yeah.
I got it like 3 times.
Oh,
How's-
really?
How's Juanita?
Where's Juanita at?
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, it was funny.
I was trying to find out how long they were together, but I can't find it.
Was it awkward at all? Like people asking you about that?
no.
No?
What like how I felt?
Yeah. like-
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It was awkward. It was more awkward for them. They felt bad.
Oh, yeah,
They
yeah.
felt bad for me. I'm playing with them.
Right,
Like,
right. How could you?
why? Yeah,
How could you bring that up?
I forgot
So
the girl's name,
insensitive.
the Asian girl who's with the black dude. Forgot her name, but she asked.
Rand?
Not Rand.
Kyle's wife.
Another
That
one.
happens a
That's
lot, I
another
guess. But she asked, and I was like, "Well, we're not married no more.
Right.
How can you ask me?" And then she felt so bad. I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, I'm just messing with you. I'm good."
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah.
fun though, man. I actually danced the whole time. Me and Stan, we were just bugging.
Yeah.
You know how.
All right, taking it back to our old good old days.
Yeah, because Kyle's our age too.
Yeah, so
So
all
it was
the
like
music,
all
all
the
the
music
music was
was
from our
Old
heyday.
school, yeah.
I was like, it's a lot of heathen music. And just dancing.
A lot
But
of
it
that
was
old school
fun, though,
R&B, man. It was-
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, pictures look great, man.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
was
that's a funny
that
story.
was a funny
Yeah.
story too. Let me tell you about that story. So, Kyle and Rand got engagement pictures done by this woman. They were, they're regular engagement pictures. They're happy and joyful. And Kyle went to Rand like, it looks a little
Too soft.
too soft. So they came to me and asked me to do a photo shoot for
Put
them.
that stank on it.
Yeah,
He said,
put that,
"Can you put that
grit.
edge on it.
Want to have like a little gangster feel. So
Yeah.
I did a photo shoot with them at the office, actually outside.
In Camden.
And
Give it a little grit.
give it a little grit. So they loved them so much that they printed it. They print out probably about 6 of the pictures, right, Sam? Like,
Yeah.
and they put it all around. Where the wedding was, they had the wedding and the reception at the same place. So they had it like
I love when they do that, man.
Yeah.
I hate going somewhere else.
dude, it was like it was perfect because the ceremony was
Yeah.
short. Anyways, so I ran into somebody that I knew through Gene,
Which is a guy you guys work out with at the gym.
I work out with him sometimes. He's a DJ, and as I was walking up to one of the pictures, the dude was talking about my picture that I took, and I was like, "Yo, what's up, dude?" Yeah, I'm like, "Yo, what's up?" And then and they were talking about the picture. I'm like, "Yo, I did that." He was like, "You did that?" And as that's happening, the cute little photographer walks by.
The one who did the engagement.
original.
Yeah,
photos.
yeah.
She was at the wedding.
She was at the wedding,
Oh.
shooting the wedding.
Yeah.
So, and she's like, "Oh, you're the one that took these pictures?"
Yeah.
And she goes to me. She looks at me in my eyes, and she's like, "I guess they didn't like my pictures." Like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
And I was like, "I saw your pictures. They're beautiful." I think Kyle just wanted a different vibe, so I
Yeah.
kind of threw it on him.
Yeah. Now Kyle said they suck. I liked them, but Kyle said them pictures was Trey's ass.
Yeah,
Hey,
but
man, that's the truth. Like,
yeah, but everybody loved them, man. They
look good, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Lisi's pictures look really
Oh
good.
yeah, man.
Oh,
I,
man.
I,
She did a
I,
great job.
I had a conversation with Jamie. He was telling me about it, and just
Yeah.
like when I went on Facebook, I
Yeah.
saw what she was trying to capture.
Yeah, yeah.
It's man, that's talent, dude.
Dude.
Like, it's just natural.
Yeah, I was like, that's what I was telling you on the phone, was like, because when we went to the winery, you were there. She was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like, she was just asking me like, "Oh, Daddy, can I take some pictures?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And she asked me like, "How do you adjust the brightness? How do you, And I was showing her
Yeah.
a couple of the settings, went through it. I showed her how to get the focus, to work, the autofocus. She got it down, and then she's like following her sister around the playground, taking pictures, and then taking pictures of all of us by the the fire pit and stuff. And when she would show me the pictures, I was like, wow, like just the way her eye to frame things and like capture moments. I was like, man, she's got a little knack.
The one with Alonzo and
Yeah,
James,
that was her favorite one.
That was a really nice one.
Yeah,
she
Like,
did a great
that
job.
moment was.
Yeah.
Yeah, you either
She-
got it or you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
12
I
years
was
old.
telling him that I like that he encourages her. Like he doesn't, oh, don't touch that. That's expensive. Or
Yeah.
whatever it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
He lets her, because sometimes kids withdraw based on if they feel like you're gonna say no
Yeah.
Yeah.
or something. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like I was telling him today, they let them play because it was nice. It was actually a pretty good event. Like that, the area you could see that these people have thought out a family atmosphere. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's wine and stuff being served, but nobody was out of control.
No.
It was very.
I
chill,
was
very
I was
relaxed.
really pleased with that event, like the way
Yeah,
they put
yeah,
that
yeah,
on.
yeah.
I actually talked to the lady about like how they picked the bands and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I would love to see if my band could do it. She was like, "Oh, you have a band? Definitely hit us up."
What was the winery called?
Lorita?
Lorita. Okay.
Yeah, it's like
all the reddish are black. You know.
it's not far from here. It's about 45 minutes from here.
Yeah, it's in New Egypt.
Yeah, New Egypt,
Okay.
another town I never heard of. Like
Right.
it's so
Never heard
crazy
of
how
Egypt.
many things are in New
New
Jersey.
Jersey.
Yeah.
New Egypt.
But they do this a couple times a year. They have
Yeah.
another one in the fall.
Yeah.
They do like a wine festival with food trucks and like they have music the whole day. They have a bunch of playgrounds for the kids and kids get in free and like it's just wine and
It's just chill.
It's chill.
And you know what though? Like speaking of that, right? I don't know if you saw what you saw. So my kids are there, his kids, stuff like that, and there was this younger guy, and he lit up a well, his boy lit up a cigar.
Yeah.
And he went over to him. He's like, "Listen," he told his friend, he's like, "Don't smoke that," because he saw the kids. And I went
Yeah.
over and I shook his hand, like just letting
but
them
you
know,
appreciated
like, I
that.
appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Like that, he's a young guy.
Because he saw the baby.
he saw the baby, and he told his boy, he's like,
Yeah.
Nice.
and it's nice. Like I went over
Yeah.
and I shook his hand, like, "Hey, man, listen,
That's what's up.
And they didn't look like young dudes that would care. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that was the thing.
Yeah.
And that was another thing that I really liked
Nice.
about this event was
Yeah.
how many cultures were there. Like
Yeah.
there was like the whitest of the whites,
yeah,
very black people.
Yeah.
There was Indians there. There
Yeah.
was Hispanics there. Like
Yep.
everybody was there and just having a good time,
yeah,
just
man.
hanging out,
It was- it
kids
was- you're right,
playing.
you're right.
Wow.
It was good.
Yeah,
I'm never impressed by food trucks though.
yeah. Food trucks,
Hit or miss.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I feel like it's overpriced.
overpriced
Yeah.
and like they're very gimmicky.
Yeah, yeah.
We have we shoved everything inside of an egg roll.
Right. I wasn't a fan of that. But
Yeah.
the atmosphere. I was telling him like I would love to see because we were talking about that. How would you guys?
Yeah,
How would they? Because the bands were pretty much like older
just like it was at
cover bands.
just like it was at Chuck's event.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I told you about this too. Me and James were sitting there, and he was like, "Man, I would love to see how they would react if you guys played." Because it was a couple thousand people out
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Easily.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
It was.
And a lot of young people too.
Yeah.
A lot of young people, a lot of older people, but a lot
Yeah.
of young people, man.
Let's get on that in the fall.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Yeah. I would love to
them up.
see the reaction, man.
Yeah, and they have like a stage. They don't have. It's not like
Yeah.
other wineries. You know.
Not the best sound system, but
Yeah.
but good enough. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mom, you can change the camera
Well,
sometime.
everybody's talking.
Yeah, but still, just to keep it interesting.
Go back and forth. Yeah, don't just keep it on one.
Hi, you're talking. You're talking. So I'm.
You gotta get on. You gotta get them switchers. Get on them switchers. Nah, but
I know we're not paying you, but we're paying you in love.
yeah, but it was good to hang out with
was good.
everybody.
And it's so good, man. Like, part of it too was it just felt normal again. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's just like everybody was out. They lit. Liz's coworker lit the fire.
Yeah.
People just hanging out.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
because Biden said what he said.
Yeah. We gonna get to that.
Yeah, I would have been there if I didn't have that.
Yeah,
wedding.
yeah,
We should
yeah.
do the fall one.
Yeah, me too.
Everybody
Yeah.
was gonna come, but everybody had other stuff. So,
Yeah.
and it was, we found out about it this week, and I was just like, all right, see who wants to come, because I knew it would be chill. But yeah, anyway, like I was when Elise showed me her pictures, I was just like really impressed with her ability to see a good shot. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And
She's got enough.
she's got there's things to teach her. A lot of those pictures, she had the ISO up way too high, so there's a lot of noise. Because the lower light pictures where we were in front of the campfire, she's thinking like, oh, just turn up the ISO to get it as bright as possible.
Right. Right.
But so there's things. She's 12 years old. You know what I mean? But it was definitely cool to see her, and it was just like you said. I did give her the rundown, like, listen, this is expensive. Keep that strap around your neck. Don't ever take that off your neck.
Yeah.
Don't drop it in the dirt. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and she was good, man.
Yeah.
Tell them what happened to her in school today.
Yeah, today, she goes on her class went on some trip to Camp Okanaka or something in Medford. That's what it's called, like Okanaka. Or something. Yeah, it's some
Campground.
yeah, some campgrounds like in Medford area, and so I get a call. She called, her cell phone is calling me at like 10 a.m. and she's like, "Hello," and I'm like, "What's up?" and then her teacher gets on the phone. It's like, she's okay, but she fell in the swamp.
Oh my god.
And
She's your daughter.
she fell. Yeah. She fell in the swamp, and we can't find her shoes.
Oh my god.
She's your daughter.
So like she went there with her Vans on that are like kind of like slide-ins. So I guess like they said, and I was like, how did she? Because my question is, how did she fall in the swamp? Like you don't want to, you just gonna skip past that. Like how did she fall in the swamp? Well, they have these obstacle courses that go out onto the swamp, and the kids go on them and they play and stuff. And she was on a balance beam or something and lost her balance and fell off. And I'm thinking like,
What?
Why is it over a swamp?
yeah. I'm thinking like, what? Like that makes no sense. And she said it wasn't deep, but there's so much mud at the bottom that when she stepped out of the water, her shoes didn't come out with her. So
now they're just lost.
and then she said we had people in there with sticks trying to find them, but no one could find these shoes. So
Oh
now,
my goodness.
so they're like, can you come bring her new shoes?
Oh my god.
Or else she's gonna have to sit out for the rest of the activities. I'm like,
So
are
you had to go
serious?
up to
I had to
Mexico?
drive all the way up there to drop off shoes.
Wow.
Remember
Yeah,
when you lost your wallet and you found it? Go back. You might find her shoes.
I know, right? I had to go down there. It's different in the swamp, though.
Yeah, find that.
That's funny.
Yeah, that was
That is hilarious.
that was funny.
Wow.
I forgot about that, but yeah, that happened today.
Shout out to Baby Boy.
What's up, baby
He
boy?
said, what's going on, my brothers? Hashtag Village Bridge. Hashtag YBG. Hashtag two nanny. What's up, bro? Vanessa said, OMG, I saw him at Target. He was so sweet.
Who we talking about?
Loved them. I don't know.
Who we talking about, Vanessa? Who'd you see?
Who'd you see at Target?
Emma said, hello, guys. Hope you great. Yo, Emma, I was just telling everybody how you upgraded your Patreon. I saw that, bro. Appreciate
Yeah.
you.
Emma.
George said, what up, squad? Been MIA for a bit, but yo, I hate how this chat jumps around. But I'm back. Good to see you. See yous in your element.
Use.
The,
That is a Jersey, Philly thing.
at the Dell a couple weeks ago. Oh, he was at the Dell? Oh, that's
Yeah,
right. He did
yeah,
come to the
yeah.
Dell. Yeah.
They had a good time.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
that was a
pretty close to the front too.
Yeah.
that was a fun show.
Who's you? She said, ha ha ha, you.
Me? You saw me at the
Jamie? Him?
You, the one with the hat. I forgot your name. I'm old. Please forgive me. Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, I remember you now. Yeah. I was in Target with the girls, and and she was there with someone else, and I saw them like looking at me like, oh, that's and they were like saying like she knew me or whatever, and then her daughter was like, what, or whoever she was with, and then she like pulled out her phone and showed her, and then she came up and said that, you know, she's been a fan for a long time, and my kids were there. So yeah, shout out to you, man. I remember that. Thank you for that.
up,
That was nice. Yeah, I did see them at Target.
Real quick. Emma, you still never hit me up, man, about working out. You talking all that.
Yeah, Emma.
I'll just play it, bro.
Yeah, Emma's funny, man. Xavier watching. Shout out Xavier. What's up, man?
I should call Mike out for that too, because Mike said he's the drummer.
Oh, he always says
that
that.
dude fell off.
He always says he's
He
gonna.
said he's coming back, man. So.
John, where's John?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was
he
supposed-
flaked out on me on Saturday.
Or for what? He was supposed to go to the gym.
Yeah, he said it was Sunday, because
John said he was gonna go to the gym.
because I had to do his car
Right.
after. After.
You did his breaks, right?
Yeah.
He
But
went to his aunt's.
No, and not in the morning.
nah, in the morning he was supposed to go to the gym with
okay.
me, so I went to the gym and then he came over after,
Oh man. Yeah.
Slicker.
so he missed it too.
Uh-oh. Shout out to Rand Ticket.
Oh,
Not
Hey.
Rand So anymore.
Hey, congrats, man. I wanna tell you firsthand.
Yeah,
Congrats to you and Kyle, man.
congratulations.
I
We were all
appreciate-
talking about you.
Yeah, we were talking about your wedding and talking
about how
about
fun it was.
how it's about time.
How many years have y'all been together? I couldn't find it. I know somebody said it, but I couldn't remember how long. If
Yeah.
you don't mind sharing.
But it's always a good thing when people get married and
Jump
do
the
the right thing.
broom.
And we were talking about weddings and like that, how that brings people together. And shout out to one of our drummers, Brandon Mullen, just had a baby last week.
Congrats. Man.
But I was texting back and forth with him, just like congratulating him, and he was saying like, there's nothing that can describe the feeling. You know what I mean? And I told him that when he said he was having a baby, I was like, yo, everybody's gonna try to tell you what it's like. Nothing's gonna. There's no words that are gonna explain how you change. You know what I mean?
And even what you go through.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I told him that to him. Like, we're explaining it to you, but
Yeah.
you won't get it
You
until
won't get
you
it.
go through it. You know?
Yeah.
True.
And even like how he said, like, even like it's the love he has for his wife is even grown because like her going, like her giving birth to his child and watching her go through that process, like, and that's a real thing. I remember feeling that too, like just like watching her be able to do that, and it makes you, it makes you appreciate them and love them even more. You know what I mean? And want to honor them even more.
Yeah.
Wait until you have grandkids.
Oh man, don't even talk about
that's
that,
a
Mom.
different
That's a long,
level.
long ways away.
Oh, look,
You
it
know.
goes by quick. Look at you guys.
Yeah. that's
Rand,
it.
I don't wanna
Rand said
think about
11
that right
years.
now.
They've
Oh,
been
11
together
years,
11 years.
11
That's
years.
not that long.
Wow.
It's that long.
That's a long
it's a long
time.
time
That's
to
a long
not be
time. That's a
married.
decade.
It's
Did Rand have a bunch of Cambodian food at the wedding?
She did not have any Cambodian
No.
food.
Yeah, what's up with that?
The
You know
closest-
why?
the
Because
closest thing-
she would have been judging it the whole time. That's why she probably
She had to make it. You know,
Yeah.
if she was gonna.
Right. That's the only way it would have
The-
been. Would have been up to her standard. Is
The
if she made it
closest was
herself.
this little shish kebab Asian-y thing. It
Oh,
was like
yeah, the chicken.
teriyaki sauce.
Asian-y.
Asian-y.
Did they
That
have?
word?
Did they have an open
Asian-y.
bar?
They did have an
Yeah.
open bar.
Did they have cigar bar?
No.
No,
No?
no cigar.
No, I was surprised. Too.
Wow.
Well, I wasn't surprised. Kyle has his own,
Yeah, no cigar
everybody
bar.
doesn't have it, so or like it,
Yeah.
so he didn't have it.
I hear that.
Open bar.
Rand said, "I hate y'all." Well, you about to hate us even more
You
because we
love
about
us.
to get into the real topics.
We're gonna talk about your president.
Yeah, we can talk about your homeboy,
That's
the most mentally fit
Every time.
president of all time.
Every time I be messing with her, your president Joe Biden, she's like, "Oh, shut up."
Oh man, yeah. So I mean, of course, first things first, we got to talk about Joe Biden. We didn't really get a chance to talk about him giving that speech last week, and just like the tone deafness of it when they were. It was the inflation. What was the name of that bill?
Inflation Reduction Act.
Inflation Reduction Act.
Donnie said, "I'm right on time."
Oh, Johnny.
Rand said,
Bye,
"Bye,
boys."
boys.
You
Good
can't
night-
face
good night,
the
Rand.
truth. You can't face the truth.
Yeah, that's
Shout out to Ashley. Ashley tuned in.
Ashley,
what up,
what's up,
Ash?
Ashley? She said they
we're
took
just
a
here
they,
to speak about the truth.
Oh
Ashley-
yeah,
they
so
took a shot of Henny.
yeah.
Oh yeah, for
to
the
seal their vows.
I forgot to mention
I forgot
that.
about that too. So instead of instead of something, they,
No, y'all
they
did
both,
it.
Not
Don't-
us.
They did.
No, I'm
Kyle-
saying no.
yeah,
They
yeah.
ran.
Ran and Kyle.
That's got to be the
That's-
blackest thing
took a
I've
shot,
ever
bro.
heard.
I was gonna say that. That's one thing. Black people
And
and
Cambodians,
Every
they
Cambodian
love that
win-
cognac.
every Cambodian wedding that I've been to, there's a bottle. There's they do the Chinese table.
Yeah, yeah,
Whatever. There's
yeah.
always a bottle of Henny at every single table.
So Cambodians are the blacks of the Asians.
That's why y'all married. So yeah, they did a shot of Henny together. It was funny.
That is funny. All right, so let's get into it, man. So last week, Biden was giving his speech about the Inflation Reduction Act, right? So this was just a funny clip because, as he's like celebrating and praising, himself and what they did for, helping the economy.
quote unquote.
You can see, and it was so bad that even CNN had to acknowledge what the reality was.
Yeah. And there you see a shot. You see Republicans standing and applaud.
We got some extra audio. Let me find it. You can take that down real quick, Mom. I gotta find where that's coming from. It might be from.
What happens when you got mad stuff?
Yo, it's from the clip you gave me.
Oh, okay.
All right, you can pull it back up, Mom. Yeah. So the funny thing was, even CNN had to acknowledge what was the irony of what was happening here.
Okay, you're listening there to President Biden at the White House. He's celebrating the passage of the Inflation Reduction Act. He says that he's been fighting Big Pharma for decades. But there is this unfortunate split screen right now with the Dow taking a total beating, down more than 1,200 points. And so it feels like it's hard to be celebratory for some people in the crowd.
We did it. We did it, Joe.
Okay, you're listening.
Yeah. So, that's just a funny juxtapose from what he was saying in that speech and what was happening simultaneously. Like the market, there's some memes that people were posting of the actual stock market crashing at that time. It is literally a straight line drop off. Like it looks crazy.
Yeah.
It looks like when Bitcoin crashed.
Well,
Like,
they had
Donnie, what are you SMHing about? Explain to us. Are you agreeing with us?
Yeah, he agrees. Yeah,
yeah, he's
He
got to
has to.
agree because like
that's regime approved.
like we're supposed to just be delusional about what's really happening while you sit there and tell us everything's great,
they still haven't admitted we're in a recession, right?
No.
They're not going.
No, they had to change the definition of recession first and actually go on Wikipedia and lock the page and change the definition of recession so that no one could actually, call it a recession anymore. Yeah.
Control.
Yeah. Yeah, we were being gaslit in real time. So then, on that same token, this is Biden did a 60 Minutes interview. Have you guys been seeing clips from this?
Yeah.
This has been everywhere.
Yes.
No.
You haven't seen anything from this? Nope. So this is they're challenging him about inflation and stuff, right? And this is his response to
Mr. President, as you know, last Tuesday, the annual inflation rate came in at 8.3%. The stock market nosedived. People are shocked by their grocery bills. What can you do better and faster?
Well, first of all, let's put this in perspective. Inflation rate month to month was just an inch, hardly at all.
You're not arguing that 8.3 is good news.
what is an inch?
I was gonna say, is that how you measure inflation?
What is an inch?
By an
Like
inch?
an inch based off of what?
Right.
Because you can
Based
have
off of where it was, because it was so bad before.
No, but
that
I'm
it
saying
went up from
like-
8.2 to 8.3, so that's an inch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, depending on where you're talking.
Yeah.
like based on like you could be measuring. It's a difference if you're measuring a football field, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus like toy football field.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean? Like
right.
what are we talking about
Yeah,
here?
yeah, and
this
yeah.
is the issue. Like you can make it whatever you want.
Right.
What are we measuring it off of, dude?
Let's keep it going.
No, I'm not saying it is good news, but it was 8.2 or 8.2 before. I mean, it's not. I can make it sound like all of a sudden, my God, it went to 8.2%.
Oh, it was 8.2 a month ago.
It's
It's the highest inflation rate, Mr. President, in 40 years.
I got that. But guess what we are? We're in a position where for the last several months it hasn't spiked. It has just barely, it's been basically even. And in the meantime, we created all these jobs and prices have gone up, but they've come down for energy. The fact is that we've created 10 million new jobs. Since we came to office. We're in a situation where the unemployment rate is 3.7.
He's counting jobs
Yes,
that came back
yes.
from COVID.
That is the talking point that they're being told to ram down everyone's throat. Because people won't think that far ahead, where it's you can't create jobs that were just shut down.
Right.
Those are just jobs that are just coming back.
Yeah, you didn't create.
You
those
didn't
jobs.
create those jobs.
How about all the jobs that he just dismantled?
Destroyed.
Right.
The wall jobs, all the people that was working on the wall, or the
Pipeline.
The
you know, the
pipeline.
pipelines.
Yeah. I mean, But it's easy to say we created 10 million new jobs when you shut down the whole country.
Yeah.
7%, one of the lowest in history. We're in a situation where manufacturing is coming back to the United States.
What manufacturing is coming back to the? Where is he? What is he talking about?
I don't know.
The vaccine.
Oh. Yeah, they're gonna manufacture that. Yeah.
It ain't solar panels. They gotta get from China.
Right. It ain't batteries. It ain't iPhones. It ain't clothes. It ain't sneakers.
Donnie, you quiet, bro.
all
What's
of that's
up?
coming
What's
from
up,
China.
Donnie?
Donnie stopped watching already. All right, so we're gonna keep going. Same interview. This is where I got the title for the podcast. Just watch his response to this. So the interviewer, I don't even know this dude's name, fortunately,
Mr. President.
I don't watch 60 Minutes, but he asked him about his mental acuity.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, dude, I was surprised that he was really asking him tough
Trying to
questions.
challenge him,
Yeah.
yeah.
He didn't push back too much.
Right.
He did a little bit.
Right.
Donnie's still here.
Oh, okay.
Come on, don't be too mean.
No, we're not. We just messing with you. We love you, Donnie. Come on, man. We're fellow African American Cultural Club presidents. We gotta stick together. We gotta stick together, man.
But you have fallen. Give me back that Democrat stick.
You were already treading that line.
They've right. They've already.
You're the Hodge twins to him. You and Jake are the Hodge twins.
Oh man. Okay.
Mr. President, you are the oldest president ever,
Pretty good shape, huh?
which leads to my next question.
Come on, bro. Dude. Come on, bro.
That was quick, though. That was quick.
That was quick.
But it's comedy, though.
I was before you even played this. I'm thinking like, yo, how much did they not show where he was like incoherent?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
You're gonna see like
they
a bunch
show
of
some?
gobbledygook. That he, you know what I mean?
He got one of them.
Like,
He got one of
because
them.
the thing is, like, they probably had to leave a lot of it in because it was the only train of thought he could put together. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Like, because I'm telling you, this is where I got the name of the podcast from.
You are more aware of this than anyone. Some people ask whether you are fit for the job. And when you hear that, I wonder what you think.
What?
Now, I'm just gonna say, they have a prepared answer. They know what questions he's gonna ask, so they have a prepared answer for him, so that he can put this thing to bed and let everybody know. But just watch how he responds. He just can't not
All
do
aboard.
it in the Uncle Joe way. First of all, watch his first response. It's so creepy, Joe.
What you think.
Watch me.
Whispers.
I mean, honest to God.
We have been watching you. That's the problem.
And it's a disaster.
That's the problem. We have been
We're
watching.
tired of watching you.
No, we've been watching you, trying to figure out what you're trying to say.
I feel bad.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
Okay.
That's all I think. Watch me. If you think I don't have the energy level or the mental acuity, then that's one thing. It's another thing of just watch and keep my schedule, do what I'm doing. I think that I don't, when I sit down with our NATO allies and keep them together, I don't have them saying, "Wait a minute, how old are you? What did they say?" I mean, it's a matter of that old expression, the proof of the pudding's in the eating. I mean, I respect.
are we still live?
Yeah.
I was
we're
just
live.
gonna say that because it said interrupted.
Did it?
Yeah.
No, I think we're live.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. 'Cause nothing's happening on my end.
Yeah, now
Donnie said it's crazy because I am now the advisory
for the Black Culture
Club.
Nice, man.
Yeah. Hold on, let me just check, make sure we're live. Pull this down, Mom, for a second. Because it would be convenient that. No, we're live.
Donnie said y'all live.
Go back.
We're live, man.
We're live.
45, 26.
All right, cool.
Where we at? Let me get rid of this one. All right. All right, just
The proof is in
That
the
old
eating.
expression, the proof of the pudding's in the eating. I mean,
Proof of the pudding is in the eating.
and that is the name of this podcast. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. It's the old expression. You all know that expression. The proof of the pudding is in the eating.
I don't like what I'm tasting. I don't know about y'all.
That's not even the expression, though. The expression is the proof is in the pudding.
Stop.
But the proof of the pudding is in the eating.
Oh my gosh.
And then he goes on.
Hey,
hold on.
I mess up, sayings all the time.
Yeah, but you're
He
not the
messes
president
it up
of the
all the
United
time.
States.
Messes it up all the time.
the proof of the pudding's in the eating. I mean, I respect the fact that people would say, you're old. But I think it relates to how much energy you have and whether or not the job you're doing is one consistent with what any person of any age would be able to do.
How would you say your mental focus is?
Oh, it's focused. I haven't, look, I have trouble even saying to myself my own head the number of years.
What is he? What?
What?
What did he just say?
That thing is-
What did he just say?
I haven't, look, I have trouble even saying to myself my own head the number of years. I no more think of myself as being as old as I am than fly.
What was that? That whole sentence.
What?
That whole sentence was just
That's sad.
him confusing words.
Yeah. Like Kamala.
She should be next.
Oh, we got. I got it.
So
I
you
got
gotta
one.
be-
I got one of
I
her.
don't
She's
even
got some
understand
hits
what
out
he
there.
said.
What was that? Explain to me.
Fly?
Yeah.
So again, this is in the moment where he's supposed to be putting to bed the idea that he isn't mentally equipped.
Yeah.
And he gives us the proof of the pudding is in the eating, and then he goes on that whole little
How
spiel.
much energy you have and whether or not the job you're doing is one consistent with what any person of any age would be able to do.
How would you say your mental focus is?
Oh, it's focused. I haven't, look, I have trouble even saying to myself my own head the number of years. I no more think of myself as being as old as I am than fly. I mean, it's just not,
He said, "I have." What do you, I can't even.
I don't
put
even
no-
understand
I
what he's
can't even
saying.
put that.
even saying to myself my own head the number of years.
It just doesn't make
I no
sense.
more think of myself as being as old as I am than fly. I mean, it's,
Then fly?
That's
Like-
a shame.
That's a shame. It is.
What?
He means cool? What?
Bro, no,
I
he
don't know.
definitely does not mean fly in that way. I can tell you that right now.
Listen, he messed up that cue card back there.
Yeah. I mean, I can give him the proof of the pudding
Right.
Is in the eating?
Is in the eating because people messed up, but that's
Proof
that's
of the pudding is in the
incoherent. right
Yeah,
there.
that's just like I said,
Yeah.
gobbledygook.
Yeah.
Like it's like you can't.
Gobbledygook.
Like his
Yeah.
brain is just
His attempt to
Yeah.
prove
That's-
that his
Yeah.
cognitive is
yeah,
he's
That's
messing it up.
worse than Kamala
right.
because Kamala,
Kamal just says
Just
nothing.
saying
She just
nothing.
repeats the same words
Right.
over and over again.
but it's like you're just saying something, but he's not making any sense.
No,
whatsoever.
but this is what I'm saying. Like, so when you said like, I wonder if they edited out, they probably did edit out a lot of a lot of his incoherent stuff. But this is what they had to work with. So imagine what they had to.
This is the
Imagine what
best
they
of the
edited
best.
out.
The next one is gonna be like, "How you doing, Mr. President? Good. All right."
I'm surprised that
wrap it up.
guy is asking him those
Right.
questions.
You know when they ask a question and then the person answers one word and then they start voiceovering everything. It's like, and then he went on to explain to us because you can't let him.
Right.
You can't let him talk.
I think they're forced to though, because if they don't, I mean, they're obviously everybody knows their bias.
Yeah.
But if they don't ask these sort of questions, whoever becomes president next, if it is a Republican, it'll definitely be unfair. You know
Yeah.
what I mean,
Mom's not switching the cameras. What you doing,
Oh,
Mom?
sorry.
She's
I'm-
Come on, Mom.
She's
I'm
like,
so focused on
she
this.
is like, she's looking at James like, get up.
Mom, when you're producing, you
get me
can't.
my angle.
You can't be a.
I need my angle, Mom.
I wasn't asleep. I'm thinking
No.
about
No,
buying
no,
it.
no.
No,
You're
she's
you're
a fan.
looking
She's a fan of
like
the
you're
podcast.
watching
She's-
James.
She's looking through
You're
the.
just like
She's engaged in the conversation.
you're engaged.
What I was gonna say is when you're producing, you can't be a spectator.
Okay.
You have to be on your job.
Damn it! Who put a question mark there? It's Ron Burgundy.
That's why it's a good thing that John doesn't pay attention to nothing we're saying. He's just like, who's talking now? All right, switch.
Oh, my God. I'm looking at James through here, and I'm not.
It's hilarious.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so and then there's another clip I'm gonna show. This is the other one. I think this is the one. No, we just showed that one.
Yo, I genuinely feel bad for him.
Man.
He needs to retire, man. Like, but he wants power and
Presidents don't
just that-
retire.
I feel bad for him, but he needs to be exposed because he should not be in that position.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
And they pushed him.
it shouldn't have been from the door. Like, how?
Well, it wasn't at first when you noticed like they were trying to figure out who the candidate was going to be when you look at the primaries.
Yeah.
Who
They weren't about Joe Biden at first.
Yeah.
They were thinking like someone else. But then once the polling numbers started coming out and like Kamala was doing terrible,
And he
all
wasn't
the-
letting Tulsi in.
No, definitely not her.
Tulsi was picking up some steam.
No, but they were gonna sabotage her no matter.
She's
what.
not a part of the establishment.
No,
Yeah. No, I'm saying it's like Kamala was doing real well until that debate where Tulsi brought up her record with.
She
Oh,
ate
yeah.
her
And then
alive.
she bodied her in that one. It was
Yeah.
like, whoa.
Yeah, that ruined her. And then that's when the whole Hillary came out calling her a Russian agent and all this stuff.
Right.
And then in that next one, that's when Kamala destroyed Biden.
Biden.
Yeah. And then
Calling her
Bernie
racist and
Right.
stuff.
was the front runner.
Bernie
at
was
that
picking up
point.
steam.
Yeah. And then they couldn't have Bernie.
They didn't.
They're
yeah.
not letting Bernie.
Right.
Yeah,
So when they came down to it was going to be Bernie or Biden, they just went all in on Biden.
Yeah. And then he's working with Bernie anyway. So.
Yeah,
Isn't Bernie older than Biden?
Yeah.
He is.
I think so. Yeah.
But he's more there than Biden.
Yeah. I mean, it's clear that the dude is in cognitive decline. It's clear.
Yeah.
And anyone who can't admit that
just
is
an-
just being.
You have to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah,
At
but
some
they're
point.
not though. You
Yeah.
know, you remember the whole Trump thing.
Yeah. I mean,
They're so
they made that dude take a mental
that
acuity
test.
test.
Yeah.
And then Don Lemon.
Don Lemon failed it live on air.
Yeah.
Bum, bum, bum.
Speak. I
didn't
got
even know what
I got a
was gonna
great
say.
Don Lemon clip
I was
today,
gonna
boy.
say.
I got a great clip from Don Lemon today. But so let's keep going on this same interview. This is the other bombshell that was dropped. That the White House and all these other news articles are trying to get ahead of and walk back.
Mr. President, first Detroit Auto Show in 3 years.
Yeah.
Is the pandemic over?
The pandemic is over. We still have a problem with COVID. We're still doing a lot of work on it. But the pandemic is over. If you notice, no one's wearing masks. Everybody seems to be in pretty good shape. And so I think it's changing, and I think this is a perfect example of it.
Governor Ron DeSantis.
So, did Biden say the pandemic is over?
Yes, he
Sounds
sure
like
did.
it to me.
He said it twice in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So why
He went off script.
doesn't that mean that all the mandates should be lifted?
Yeah, it dropped
That-
immediately.
All of the restrictions should be lifted.
Yep.
All of the military mandates, all of these things that are in place should be lifted right now.
Everybody who got let go.
I mean, they shouldn't have been in place in the first. It's unconstitutional.
Right.
But if the commander in chief is saying it's over, it should be over, right?
He messed up.
I'm surprised. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm surprised. He didn't say they tell me not to say these things. I'm not allowed to say that.
Not allowed to say. Well, you know, immediately the White House had to walk this back. So
Yeah.
of course his press secretary was questioned about this. So let's listen to this exchange.
Mr. President, first Detroit Auto Show in 3 years.
Yeah.
Just there.
Is the pandemic over?
The pandemic is over.
The president said, and he was very clear in his 60 Minutes interview, that COVID remains a problem, and we're fighting it.
He was very clear about that. He was very clear that COVID remains a problem, and we're fighting it.
And we have to continue to make sure that we are fighting this once in a
You want to talk
generation
about
pandemic.
Like,
But he said it was over.
Yeah.
this is what we get. It's like we in another dimension. Like people are in different dimensions, and they keep trying to tell you, no, that's not what it is.
Yeah,
This is
and then
not your
you
reality.
got news outlets that don't know what to report because they don't want to go against what he said. The Washington Post said this is an opinion piece, though, so that they can not take credit. They cannot like go against the system, but still kind of agree with him. Biden is right. The pandemic is over, and then they go on to do all this mental gymnastics on why the pandemic is over, but we still need to have mandates and lockdowns and all that stuff. And then, of course, this is the Time magazine. The Time article about Biden is wrong. The COVID-19 pandemic isn't over. The White House came out and made a statement saying that, oh no, Joe Biden didn't mean what he said, as they do all the time.
Right. His
Also-
Surgeon General too, I think.
Yeah.
Said the same thing.
Yes. And so now we're dealing with. Oh, I thought this was a funny clip. This was a funny clip. Like, what is he doing?
Is that his grandkid?
I hope that's his grandkid, but
Yeah, I think
it's
it
just
was.
weird.
That was from something.
It's just
I
weird.
remember seeing that before.
Yeah, that was just on Twitter with all this other stuff.
Something's wrong with that man.
Yeah. All right, you can pull that down, Mom. And then there was another clip that went viral. I couldn't find it. They might be taking it down, but he straight up asked him about Taiwan. And he said, if China invades Taiwan, will America use military action? And he said, yes. He said definitively. And he re-asked him again. You're saying that the military will act. And he said, yes.
Yep. And
So
he said our policy hasn't changed or something like that.
the White House comes out and says our policy for Taiwan has not changed. And, basically Joe Biden is wrong, which is so weird to me that like every time he says something. So is the president not a part of the White House? Like, how does this work?
No.
I mean,
He's
they're
not running
showing
the
you he's a
country.
puppet.
They're showing you how this works.
Yeah. Right.
They're showing you that what he says means nothing.
Yeah.
Because he can say the pandemic's over. He said this is like the fourth or fifth time he said that we're gonna
about Taiwan.
defend Taiwan.
Yeah.
And they keep walking it back and saying that he's incorrect.
Yeah.
So, but he's the commander in chief of the military. That's his role as president. So if he says that's what we're doing, they have to follow.
Right.
Have any of you guys watched Manchurian Candidate?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
He's like the worst Manchurian candidate.
I was gonna say it's even worse. Man.
Like he's the comedy of Manchurian Candidate. Like,
Yeah.
He's the Manchurian chicken candidate.
Right. It's a shame, man. And they're just showing you that he's not making the decisions.
Yeah.
We don't know who is, but he's definitely not.
Obama.
Ron Klain, some people, his chief of staff.
Yeah.
Obama, I'm sure is in the mix.
I don't know about Obama. People say that all the time, but
Well, if you base it off of his past interview, he's like, yeah, I would like to make the decisions, but have somebody else be the face of it.
yeah.
Obama said that, but
yeah, but we don't know.
Donnie
We
said
don't
we all get sayings wrong all the time.
that's true.
Hey, I said that too.
Okay. No, he was
I said
agreeing with
that
he was
too.
agreeing with you. He was agreeing with you.
Hey, Biden called Obama the president.
He did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he also called Kamala the president a couple times.
But he's incoherent, so you can't believe anything he says.
Yeah.
And the White House says it. Don't believe it.
Wait a second.
He didn't mean that.
That's so good.
So in other news, man, I lost one of these pages. Sometimes like while we're in the podcast, a tweet that I'm
They're
gonna
getting
bring
rid
up
of it.
gets deleted by Twitter. So I don't even know what that was, but so everybody knows, of course, that.
So let me. So Donnie says that the White House did the same thing to Trump before. Like,
they absolutely did,
they backtracked.
But that's what I'm saying. So they're exposing that the president really has no power. They've been exposing that.
Well, I don't think they did it in the same way that they're doing it with Biden.
No, it's definitely different.
Yeah, it's on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, they'll correct some things, but this is like on another level, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The way I'm seeing it.
I mean, completely going against what he's saying we're gonna do in a military situation.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and it's like when you look at the White House press secretary and the difference between like it's like a gaslight the whole time.
Yeah.
Like everything is like, wait, what? Like it just don't make no sense. It's just basic like what is going on?
She said Biden was clear in his 60-minute interview that COVID is still a problem. He said the pandemic is over. He did say that COVID is a problem that we're dealing with, but the pandemic, and he reiterated that the pandemic's over.
Yeah, like with Trump, I can see though how people would say that because, like,
of course,
people saying, "Oh, he said they're racist," and then the White House says, "No, he didn't say that," or like, but you're listening to the news and they're telling you one thing. So I can see, like, but if you really go back and watch, they're just backing him.
Right.
It's different than they're not backing Biden.
They're correcting him. Yeah.
They're correcting and like saying he didn't mean to say that. Like
he's wrong.
Yeah. So that's different, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there were situations where Trump said stuff that the White House was like, "Oh, he didn't actually mean that." You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there was. I remember the thing he said about like COVID when he was talking about certain things you could
take.
Chloroquine, hydrochloroquine.
No, it wasn't that.
It was the bleach thing.
Yeah.
He was talking about stuff, but everything he said checked out. It was just in the way he said it.
The bleach thing is another fake story. He never said anything about bleach.
He never said
that. Yeah. He was talking about the procedure that they were coming up with using the UV treatment.
UV treatment, yeah. Which was a thing.
Disinfectants inside the body is what he said, and people said, "Oh, he's talking about drinking bleach." Like,
but he just didn't have the words.
Yeah,
he knew what he meant, but they had to like, well, this is what he actually meant, which is what he meant. But it's like
he did tee them up for that because he did sound dumb.
Yeah,
talking about
because he's talking about stuff that he don't really know about, and he's
Like
hearing.
Donnie said, "I see y'all got y'all fishing rods out tonight."
Nice. It's reality. It's reality.
Yeah, I mean, this is reality, bro.
Yeah, I mean, hey, give us we showing you evidence of Biden saying something and his White House saying something different. Give us the evidence you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Show us. Put a link in the chat. So in other news, Ron DeSantis had the biggest troll of life this week when he sent a bunch 48 people, illegal immigrants, to Martha's Vineyard.
Why not? They got the room.
Hey, they're a sanctuary. They have considered themselves a sanctuary city. They have it, and he gave them the brochure
in words, not in theory.
Dude, they have a whole brochure. I saw it on Twitter. I forgot to bring this. They have a whole brochure talking about like you can come here. We give you refuge. We do this. We have this type of facility for you. Blah blah blah. blah.
Only if you're a millionaire. Fine print.
Right. So he sent them people out there, and all hell broke loose, man. All hell broke loose. So let's watch a little bit. We sent some text about this back and forth, but play this clip real quick.
Hey, we just want to hang out, Democrats. Don't you love us? Oh, shoot. Oh, my gosh. We love you on the TV, not in our own neighborhoods. Get them out. Put up signs, get the police. Let's get a National Geographic down here. It's like, guys, it's 50 people. They're like, hey, come on, man.
Come on, man.
Now people are coming from all over the world.
He can do that because he's part Mexican, right?
Whatever. I guess we'll get a lawyer, an NGO, and we'll get redistributed somewhere and get treated better than a citizen. So why not, man?
What are the most difficult challenges right now?
The difficult challenges are we have, at some point in time, they have to move from here to somewhere else, right? We cannot we don't have the services to take care of 50 immigrants, and we certainly don't have housing. We're in a housing crisis as we are on this island, and so we can't house everyone here
50
that lives
immigrants.
here and works here. We don't have housing for 50 more people.
We don't have housing for 50 more people.
You're living in a mansion with 50 rooms.
Right, dude. People were showing like the Airbnb listings alone.
Yeah.
And like how much they cost and like how much room and board there was there. Let me also start by this. This is the most heavily Democratic voting place in the country. I think it's like 80 something percent Democrat.
Wow.
And so they voted for these policies. They back it. They have a brochure saying, "Come here. We're a sanctuary city." 50 people, bro.
Panic.
And they called in the National Guard.
What?
They shipped them off to a military base.
Yeah.
And like it was all hell broke loose.
Wow.
That's what you call hypocrisy.
Yeah, and he exposed that hypocrisy by saying, "All right, we're gonna put it on your doorstep." Even Charlemagne on his show, Charlemagne the Guy was like, "I think it's genius."
I think so too.
Because he was like, he exposed how Democrats don't care about these immigrants either. They just
don't care about them.
They just say they do.
Yeah, yeah. That's really what it is. It's just exposing the hypocrisy. That's
Because they don't care about it.
Pull it down, Mom, please.
Because they don't want to deal with it. All they care about is getting the votes.
Yeah.
From these people. This is the tactic. I don't know.
Well, not only that, it's like it sounds
virtuous,
virtuous in theory. For you to say in your like the Obamas have a mansion out there. It's easy for you to virtuously be like, we should just let them in.
Yeah. But, But my point is that that's just the front.
Yeah.
For the real reason why. The real reason why is because they want to get the votes.
Yeah.
Like even when they came into like the Ellis Islands, and they would have people, representatives, Democrat representatives, come and get these people, right?
Yeah.
And find them places to live and like support them, but then be like, you have to vote Democrat.
Yeah.
Like this was something they would do.
Yeah.
It's part of their strategies. That's why like a lot of like, especially
At least
in New
they
York,
did that.
Yeah.
Now they just like just say it on TV.
Yeah. Well, which is like, it's a strategy. Like it's allowed. This now what they're doing is illegal.
Yeah.
Right. They're bringing in illegal immigrants and calling them immigrants.
Well, the main thing is because they're saying that, right? They're saying that, but they're not border states, so they're not overwhelmed with this problem.
Exactly.
So it's easy for them to say that. And all this is just exposing the hypocrisy of what they're saying, which is they're promoting this,
Right.
but then when it lands on their doorstep,
And you see the same thing happening in Chicago, the same thing in New York, the same thing in D.C. All of these mayors who are advocating for this stuff and saying that we need to let people in, we need to be sanctuary cities. They're starting to bust people there. You know, it's 2,000 people in Chicago. Lori Lightfoot is like, we can't handle this. We're not built for our infrastructure can't handle this. Same thing in D.C., same thing in New York. It's a crisis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you want millions of people to be in Texas.
Like
And they're supposed to
Arizona.
just Texas, Arizona, New Mexico,
Let them
California.
deal with it.
They're all supposed to just deal with it. And not only the fact that like so they're now that one of the sheriff in Texas is trying to investigate Ron DeSantis for like human trafficking charges or something like some way to try to
But haven't they been doing that too?
Exactly. So that's why it's ridiculous and it's not going to work because Biden had the reason why they started doing this is because Biden has been flying people on
At
jets
night.
in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
All over the country, so they come into Texas, they come into New Mexico, they put them on planes in the middle of the night, send them to Florida, send them to New York, send them to Jersey, send them all over the country. You know what I mean? And they've been caught. There's so many videos on Twitter of planes landing and people going up to them and be like, "What is this?" And it's all these immigrants coming off of it. So they've already been doing that.
And the thing is, like, if you look at, like, most of these immigrants are not in line or agree with the majority of these policies, or I'll say ideologies of the Democratic
They're just trying to
Party.
escape their reality.
Yeah, they just want a better life.
Yeah. You guys ever seen that movie Elysium?
Yeah, of course.
There's a scene in Elysium where they're trying to land on this the makeshift planet.
The elites.
The elite planets. It reminds me of that.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that, and they're all running for
Right. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I think they're being sold because there's videos, and y'all gotta research this. I'm telling you, because there's so much information that they're not telling us about this, because there's videos of organizations funding this down in Mexico, meeting up with these caravans. There's videos of like hospital trucks following them, and food vehicles following them to help them make this journey to America. They're funding this.
Well, let's get into it a little bit. Do you think it's human trafficking? Or do you think they're just bringing them for votes, or do you think it's like all of the above? It's just
I think it's all of the above.
Definitely all of the
It's
above.
it's destabilization. It's a new slave class, labor class.
Yeah, that's why they push the no ID thing.
Yeah.
I can definitely tell you in the construction world.
Yeah,
that's definitely huge. The construction trade world / restaurant world. I can tell you, yes, I've seen it myself.
/ landscaping world.
Landscape,
yeah.
Even me growing up, like I started working when I was like 12, 13.
Yeah, picking blueberries.
Most of it was all immigrants, illegal immigrants that's getting paid nothing.
Well, you were legal, but
I was legal, yeah, but it was
he wasn't legal yet. Well, no, he was.
I
weren't a
legally
citizen.
here.
You were legally here.
I was a legal alien. I had a green card.
Yeah.
But I saw that I was working illegally because I was a minor.
Right.
But what's crazy about that, right? Like when I look at those videos in California, all the smash and grabs, I never see those people like running and smashing and grabbing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird because they're desperate, but what Jake is saying is true. They're just escaping their, they have conservative values.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean? They're just escaping their situation.
And you know what? Someone else made a great point. I was watching an interview about this, and they were saying like it's funny how you go to California, you go to Texas, you go to New Mexico. They're having a homeless crisis out there. None of these people are out there on the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They find housing. They find employment.
Yeah, because they're willing to. What is admirable about it? Because I do feel terrible for them because they're trying to win the lottery ticket of life.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But when they come, they go right into the workforce. The only thing that hurts is that they're not paying taxes.
Right.
That's really
and they're lowering the wages.
That's right.
Yeah, they're keeping the wages low.
That's right. Now, are there groups of them some of them that do commit crime? Yes, but as you're saying, when you go out to those homeless tents, and I've seen them in Philly and stuff like that, I rarely see.
Yeah.
It's mostly Americans.
Yeah.
And those people, they have issues with drugs. You can see it.
Yeah, it's an opioid thing.
Yeah.
Not only that, like this country is like a house, right? You can't just let people try to come up in your house, right? There has to be respect. There has to be honor. There has to be a fear of law and order.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have that, people, they don't respect. They don't, like, why? I get they want to come to the country, but there has to be a respect to come into the country. If you don't have that, then you'll be willing to do whatever, you know? And not all of them, but a lot of them will be willing to do whatever. And that's how you compromise. And like a lot of them come over by coyotes who not only are they're indentured servants to them, right? They got to work off. So you're promoting this stuff and propagating
it's a chain
this stuff.
effect. Yeah, and not only that, but the sexual trafficking and all that kind of stuff. Like it's many times they're pawning off their kids with people or strangers, which is going to lead to other things. It's a lot of we really I don't think we really have gone into depth into understanding what this thing is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. On the right, it's just get them out of here. On the left, it's like no, we need them. Everybody's has their own take, but these are still human beings. Like I get it. You know what I mean? But
and there should be a easier process to let people immigrate into this country.
What if we? Not saying that I have the plan, but I'm saying, but what if they did get here and we did offer like some sort of asylum, but they're paying taxes or they're, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's the problem. Is the system is the way they're trying to have the system designed now. It's not. They don't want that.
Agree.
They don't want that. They want them to come in
just to
and be
because
the
people who are thinking like that, they just want to use them
right
as a political pawn.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
absolutely.
But it's like the same argument with like marijuana, right? Like for so long, marijuana was demonized, but now it's a huge tax revenue.
Right.
Right. Imagine all these people were paying tax citizens. It would ease off the load off of so much people. You know what I mean? If they're gonna work here anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But I think to them the political win is more important than even the tax.
Oh no, that's
you know what I mean?
They're
not thinking about the tax revenue angle at all.
No,
they don't
want to solve that problem.
No.
Yeah.
They don't want them here. It's just a way to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't really want them.
That's what this whole thing exposed.
Yeah.
They don't they didn't want them in Martha. 48 people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they were like, what do we do? Get them out of here.
There's something to put in perspective. Del Rio, Texas, on the border, deals with 1,500 people a day.
A day.
A day.
I saw someone who owns a farm on Del Rio. He was showing the surveillance footage of of how many people come over every day.
Yeah.
And like there's people that he lives right next door to his father's house, and he was showing a video of like people that came across the border, tried to break into his house. All his doors were locked. They went immediately to his father's house, but just went in and just hid out in their house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he was showing that I could deal with this every day. You know?
And then they used like people like AOC, they used a violin.
Yeah.
How do you deny these people that just want a better life?
But again,
and then the hypocrisy. 50 people.
It's easy to do that in your
50
ivory
people.
tower.
Yeah.
When you how can you deny them? Me, I don't want
Yeah.
anything to do with them. How can you deny them?
Right.
You know, and then when it happens, they're like, yo, here, check this out. Pull this up, Mom. I saw a tweet where people were like posting screenshots of the Martha's Vineyard group chats, people that live there, and like the stuff they were saying. It's like find them permanent housing. I'm sorry, but I thought there was a housing shortage here. Do you need anyone to help in the evenings? We can where can clothing be given to them? Can we just come and give them nice clothing? You're funny. What else do they need? They need housing. You have 2 summer rentals. They don't want to give. I'm not giving up my rentals, bro.
I gotta have
Think about it.
sandwich.
That's their rentals.
Yeah.
They don't want to do that.
So people that were like, people were finding. Of course, you know how people are on the
But
internet.
they shouldn't have to give up their rental.
They
they shouldn't.
But
it's the hypocrisy.
It's the hypocrisy when you because they'll be the same ones out there saying, "Wait, what's the problem? Just let them. They just want a better life." But when that's why you have to expose it by making them show up on your doorstep and say, "Okay, give them the better life that you so badly want them to have."
He's turning into the all-time troll because he did it with all the liberals who were talking about Florida and their vacation houses, like no mask, hanging out.
Yep. And then NBC made a tweet that they had to delete.
Yeah, I
comparing
heard about
immigrants to trash because
they were like,
yeah.
they took Martha's Vineyard took the trash out.
So
like
here
that.
it is right here. So
you got it.
yeah, someone screen grabbed it. Of course,
Yes.
nothing is ever.
Ask you if you went to the way back.
Florida Governor DeSantis sending asylum seekers to Martha's Vineyard is like me taking my trash out and just driving to a different area where I live and just throwing my trash there. I found a founding member of the foundation which helps refugees says, yeah. So.
Wow.
Deleted that tweet.
Of course they deleted that.
Who wrote
tweet.
that?
Of course they deleted that. Yeah. So.
Did you see how angry Kamala was when they put him in her front lawn?
Oh yeah, they shipped.
Oh my gosh, she was so angry.
They shipped like 200 to her house.
That was Abbott.
Yeah, that was Abbott did that. Yeah. Yeah. So people are trying to come at them now and say that it's human trafficking. Blah blah blah. Minor children, kids in cages. Same thing. How come we don't hear about kids in cages anymore?
Yeah.
We don't hear about that no more. Ain't that funny? But speaking of Kamala, let's check out the latest.
Let's see the giggle
from our VP. You guys want to hear?
Kamala.
You want to hear something about community?
Community. How many times she gonna say community? How many times?
Look, our community
So we
is a
invested
community.
an additional $12 billion into community banks because we know community banks are in the community and understand the needs and desires of that community as well as the talent and capacity of community. So we invested an additional
That never changes.
It's almost like she's doing it on purpose now.
She is. I think she.
It's like she knows this is her thing, and now she's just doing it on purpose.
That one wasn't like that bad compared to her other ones.
Bro, she said
community an additional $12 billion into community banks.
I would say compared
because
to
we know
her other
community
ones.
banks are in the community.
Because we know community banks
yes.
are in the community.
It's bad. I'm just saying, like
compared to her other ones, I
compared
would
to
agree with
like
you.
the other ones were like way worse. It's bad. Like if it was a regular person saying that, like somebody you weren't. But she's already gone so low.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but it's not
But
that
it's
bad.
just like she continues to do it, which is
But it's like she's saying nothing.
right.
You know who really goes after her? Sky News in Australia.
Oh, dude, I saw the
that
clip
Indian
of that.
lady goes after
Yo,
her. Really.
they really clown her.
They do.
Yeah, I saw
She's
that
saying
clip.
absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I honestly think this is her. I think she's really doing this. I don't think they write that for her. I think they give her a little synopsis, and she's like, "I got this."
Maybe she's like, I'm good to just.
You can take it down, Mom.
Because she don't
Yeah, I
have
can
staff
freestyle.
anymore.
Maybe she's like, I just want to be free.
Yeah.
I want
Let
to be
me
free,
freestyle.
and I want to add. I want to add. that.
She's the equivalent of the person who think they could sing but can't sing.
Yo,
She's like,
she thinks she's a great speaker, and she's like, she's
got this.
who's the dude from American Idol? Thomas Long.
Yeah.
She
William
bangs.
Hung.
William Hung. She's William Hung.
Bang.
She bangs of speeches.
She's like, I'm a biracial half black.
She's
I
like,
could do this.
she's like what's it? A bad what do they call them poets?
Spoken words.
Oh,
spoken word artist.
Yes,
It swears they're way more deep than they
Right.
really are.
Right.
Right.
You see the intricate C's.
Yeah.
She's Oswald Bates.
Oswald Bates, baby.
Yeah, you gotta play
The
Oswald Bates.
flatulence of the ovals.
Oswald Bates.
Yeah, Oswald
But it's
Bates.
funny because she's never said anything that's important.
Oh, Sky
Never.
News goes after her all the time.
Yeah.
That lady's always going after her.
What do
Yeah.
you mean? She talked about space.
She talked about banks in the community that are in the community because they're the banks of the community. I mean, what don't you get
Like-
about that?
Like we're seeing with these presidents. Like you had Obama, who was a good actor.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing people who ain't good actors.
Right.
Like they're just
Right.
they playing.
But this is how the reason why we see this so blatantly is because it was anything but Trump. They didn't care, like anything but Trump.
Yeah.
Okay, here you go.
Yeah, and you literally got whatever,
Yeah.
And even Trump was like a reaction to what had been happening the last 12 years or whatever. You know what I mean? So yeah. But so I was talking about Don Lemon. We know that another thing that just happened was something big happened in England. Everybody's aware of this, right?
What happened?
No, you're not aware of this.
Are you talking about the
Something
Queen?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Did you
Yes.
Oh,
I thought it was something else.
No, that was the
She guys
biggest.
care about the monarchy.
The biggest thing that happened. Yeah, I mean, I don't care about the monarchy at all, but the Queen is the Queen. Whatever.
But
Queen is dead.
there's some significance to
There's some significance, but of course, a lot of pundits, a lot of, especially from the more progressive side of things, have been going on about the approach, the colonialist, the things that they need to atone for England. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I heard about it.
Okay.
Reparations.
These guys are throwing me off with all this eating.
Hey man, snacks. We got snacks.
Reparations.
So yeah, everybody's talking about how they need to atone for colonialism. She's a murderous people.
Okay.
On the View, they're saying that they raped and pillaged and
Right.
slavery and all of that.
Sunny.
Yeah, of
I
course.
seen her clip.
Yeah, She thinks that Gavin Newsom and Stacey Abrams would be a great ticket. By the way,
Yeah.
Gavin Newsom and Stacey Abrams, bro. Yo, just
That's the dream team right there.
Dream team. But anyway, so Don Lemon was questioning someone from England about reparations. And he was not ready for this response, bro. Y'all gotta see.
Look at his face, man.
Bob,
this is
pull this up. Pull this up. Pull this up.
Well, this is coming when, there's all of this wealth and you hear about it comes as England is facing rising costs of living, a living crisis, austerity budget cuts, and so on. And then you have those who are asking for reparations for colonialism, and they're wondering, $100 billion, $24 billion here and there, 500 million there. Some people want to be paid back, and members of the public are wondering, why are we suffering when you are, you have all of this vast wealth? Those are legitimate concerns.
Well, I think you're right about reparations in terms of if people want it, though, what they need to do is you always need to go back to the beginning of a supply chain. Where was the beginning of the supply chain? That was in Africa. And when across the entire world, when the slavery was taking place, which was the first nation in the world that abolished slavery? The first nation in the world to abolish it. It was started by William Wilberforce, was the British. In Great Britain, they abolished slavery. 2,000 naval men died on the high seas trying to stop slavery. Why? Because the African kings were rounding up their own people. They had them on cages waiting in the beaches. No one was running into Africa to get them. And I think you're totally right. If reparations need to be paid, we need to go right back to the beginning of that supply chain and say, who was rounding up their own people and having them handcuffed in cages? Absolutely. That's where they should start. And maybe, I don't know, the descendants of those families where they died in the high seas trying to stop the slavery, that those families should receive something too, I think, at the same time.
Look at his face. Look at his
It's
face.
an interesting discussion.
It's an interesting discussion.
We'll continue.
Somebody cut her signal off.
He was not ready.
He wasn't ready for that.
Yo, I couldn't believe that. Okay,
that's
pull that
great.
down, Mom. Pull it down.
That was great.
Yo, I couldn't believe she hit him with that.
Yeah,
bro.
but that's the thing with this. Like, we talked about it with the Indian thing.
Yeah.
With the fat,
The Native
Indian
Americans, yeah.
girl. Well, the obese Indian girl.
Right. That
From
white
India.
supremacy is why she's fat.
Yeah. Like, people are always looking where they can blame. But
Yeah.
they don't realize, like, yo, your people weren't that great.
Yeah.
Like, come on. The black people, descendants that were Africans, were not all that great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So let's not act like, let's not virtue like they were amazing people. No,
But that's the same thing they
did
do with the
things.
Native Americans. We were just talking
Exactly.
about that.
We can pull up that
Yeah.
that clip.
Yeah, right.
Of the Aztecs.
That's what I was talking to you about, the Bill Maher thing. Like, they were coming at him because he was, trying to say that he was, trying to defend slavery. But that's pretty much what he said. Like,
No, I just found it extremely hilarious that she was advocating for the 2,000 British people that died fighting
their
slavery, that
families
they should get reparations.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
He's like, no, that.
So who's gonna play?
I didn't mean
for
that.
The African nations. That,
Yeah,
the
right. That's what
kings
she's
were-
trying to say.
But you know what's sad though? I mean, aside from all this, what's sad is this: the reason people are doing this is because most people don't really understand history.
Yeah.
And they don't understand nations, and they don't understand kingdoms and
Yeah.
how they're set up, and really, they just don't get it. They don't understand that this was a big money thing, and this has been going on a long time. You know what I mean? It's been going on a long time. So they don't understand it.
Yeah, and it's the same situation that we have now, where it's like, okay, the U.S. is a world power. China got all of its wealth based off of us outsourcing our labor to them
Because
and
our,
then-
our
right.
insatiable appetite for material.
and them basically enslaving their own people
To do it.
to be the workers for these things that we consume.
Right.
So there's always that dynamic. There's always that cost. Like, yeah, these African nations were poor, so they looked at these people as, okay, we can round up some people we don't like,
Right.
and sell them to these people, and they'll take them as slaves.
Into tribalism.
Yeah.
That led to a lot of that. You know what I mean?
There's like the top 5 worst places to try to enter into.
Yeah.
I think number 1 is North Korea, but after that, it's like 3 African countries.
Yeah.
So, like, come on, guys. Emma says something about there's pictures and videos of the most extreme stuff going on in Africa, and you won't want to see them. And he showed me. He was like, do you have a? Are you okay with seeing really, really bad? I wasn't even ready for what he showed me.
Wow.
Right?
Was it in Cameroon or was it?
I think it. I don't know if it was in Cameroon, but he was telling me about Cameroon, but it was in Africa, and basically like it was people just getting their throats slit, and they're naked and like. And it's just like nothing, like they're straight cattle.
Brutality.
And they're about to just sell their body parts off. You know? And people don't get, like, see, the problem is that these are people talking from places of privilege.
Yeah.
Right? We want to talk about places of privilege.
And ignorance.
Right? But privilege in ignorance.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what you call disrespectful people because they don't know what they got.
Right.
And when you don't know what you got, you lose it. And when you don't know what you got, you expect more. Right.
Yeah.
Without having any knowledge or any understanding of how it was gotten in the first place.
And you find ways to nitpick what you do have and say why it's not good enough.
And this is what we're dealing with right now.
Yeah.
You got a bunch of privileged people trying to talk about some stuff they don't really know what they're talking about.
Right. And like slavery was a terrible thing.
Yeah.
That's why it needed to be abolished. It needed to be stamped out. But like the way that it's painted as like just this,
it's just a
white devil syndrome. Like it's
white thing.
Yeah,
like,
it's totally a flawed way of seeing the whole picture of
like,
how that all went down.
The Arabs were worse in slavery, especially numbers and killings than the whites were.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, there's always been, ever since the beginning, there's always been people trying to conquer one another. That's just the way it's been. But I think from the Western world, there hasn't been enough information and education, and that's because of our modern school system, who haven't taught us how these other countries. So we just see, when we see slavery, we think of it from the Middle Passage on.
Yeah.
We don't think of it as slavery back in that time was it was slavery, but it was a form of indentureship, and it led to I mean before that was conquest of your village, and you come work out, they take the men and women. This has always been happening amongst people groups. You know what I mean? This is in Europe, this is in Africa, this is in Asia, this is in South America. Wherever there's a group of humans, there's always been a group of people who want to exert themselves on another group of people.
And I'll say that it's contingent on how depraved that society is.
Yeah.
Because it's not just like they're indentured servants. No, it's how depraved that society
Yeah.
is. It's to the level that they will be enslaved and be brutalized.
Yeah.
So like,
this is what
we
we were
don't
talking
understand.
about, the Native American slaves and like the stuff that they were doing.
Can we pull that clip up with the
Let's pull that up
Aztecs?
real quick. Pull that up.
Because like, these people come to our country and they enslave. Like, I've read books on what
Take their
happened in
brains
Mexico.
out and eat their brains because of all the hormones and all of the things that were going on.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You didn't say from the
Yeah, so the pineal
That
gland
is heavy.
That's heavy, I know.
That is so heavy.
Yeah, but they found it gave them, whatever superhuman strength or religious ecstasy. The Aztecs used to burn people when they were alive to really like freak them out, and then take their brains out and eat their brains because of all the hormones and all of the things that were going on.
Whoa.
Yeah, so the pineal
That
gland
is heavy.
That's heavy, I know.
That is so heavy.
Yeah, but they found it gave them, whatever superhuman strength or religious
The Papua New
ecstasy.
Guineans did that too.
The Aztec.
Doesn't it sound a lot like a certain family that has a kill list? The stories we hear about them, and
Obviously, this stuff is demonically inspired.
Yeah. But there's something about about that same ritualistic thing where someone's in a heightened sense of fear, and you in that moment you consume that part of them. It's like
Right.
There's something ritualistic, you know.
Yeah, and these people were like the amount of human sacrifice that was going on.
Yeah.
With the Mayans and the Aztecs at the time. Like, I read books about this.
Yeah.
Not just with the Aztecs, but even in all those villages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They found mass graves of bones with babies and young children in them.
There's the conquer. I mean, the only movie that I have watched about that was really close is Apocalypto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't it has elements of that, but it follows the one guy. But it's really true to what that was.
How that world was.
How that world was, and they, you know, this is gonna happen. But this happened in Germany, and you know, all over.
All over.
What is human beings, man? There's gonna be this kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But if you look at, you got the Spaniards that come in. Now, I'm not saying the Spaniards were great, but they were a lot better than that. They were a lot better than that. That's my point is that, like, you can always look at something and be like, oh, they're horrible.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, in some ways they are horrible. But when you look at what it was, they changed the landscape of Mexico.
Yeah.
You know, to a certain extent for the good. And of course, like, you can look at the stuff that happened back then before even they went there. That's still going. Like, you're seeing that steeped in because people honor those same things because they look at it in a reverential type of way.
I was watching a dude who worked on the border patrol, and he was a military guy. He was on Rogan as well, and he was talking about the cartels and how they operate in Mexico, and he was saying that a lot of them still practice a lot of those things, and they still follow a lot of those rituals. They still believe they're connected to that stuff.
Yes,
so that's why
ruling over that.
Yeah, so that's why they'll still brutalize and not care.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, right? That dude.
Yeah, it was a couple of years ago.
Yeah. I was just about to say that.
Yeah,
because that's where you're getting your power from. You know, how do you control an area? And people will go to the greatest length to do it.
Yeah.
But you're seeing, like, in the Western civilization, like, technology, it was technology that won.
Yeah.
And that type of technology, I believe, even came about through progress, little by little, in Christ.
Yeah.
You know, even though there was so much ignorance with God, look at how things still, you know, you had the Dark Ages, but right out of the Dark Ages started to become movements, right? And with the printing press, like, people started to read more, things started to develop, right? Because of the Word of God.
Right.
Right? It's interesting. And you have all the things that are coming off of Catholicism, which is it's the protest of Catholicism, right?
Yeah.
Where people are starting to come into more and more of the things of God, to the point where now you have people coming to America.
Yeah.
You know, and what this country was based off of. You know, so then you go back and you're like, well, this country is horrible, and it was built off the back of slaves, and it was everything about it was oppressive, and you see all that, but you don't realize what oppression really looks like.
Yeah.
You know, so go back, and these people were eating people's brains and burning people alive and taking their brains out so that they could.
I think those elements are still here. They're just hidden.
Yeah.
Now with the ritual, the clubs, and certain things that we've heard about.
Yeah.
What's that woman you told me about that I looked into? The spirit cooking
Abramovich,
thing.
yeah. Right. Who was also at the Queen's ceremony.
It's just hidden. It's just these.
Why are they hidden? Why?
Because they can't. They have to go underground.
Yeah, because it's not accepted.
Yeah.
Right? Well, imagine when it gets accepted. That's what you get with those
that's what they're
societies.
pushing for, little by little.
Exactly.
They're pushing for that to be able to be out in the light again.
That's why they're pushing maps.
Right, exactly. That's why they're pushing all of these things in the mainstream, little by little, because they want to be able to not be underground anymore.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear about that movie with Viola Davis where she plays the
Woman King?
Yeah, the Woman King. Yeah.
That's
coming out, right?
Makes no damn sense whatsoever.
Right.
A queen, you mean?
Yeah.
A queen, right?
No.
Yeah. The woman.
She's
king.
the Woman King. Yeah. But anyway, so a bunch of people, like scholars and stuff, and people that study this stuff, were exposing about how, like, this woman, like the actual woman, was a slave trader.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And
that tribe was
they're
the worst,
exposing that, like
one of the worst
they were like
slave
one of the worst slave traders.
Yeah.
And
But
but,
that
of course
doesn't come
the movie
Doesn't show
totally tries to
Yeah.
paint it like she's this virtuous, like great woman. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you know, so they of course they question the people that wrote it, and they're defending it, saying like, well, we wanted.
They've
to
been doing
just-
that a lot lately.
Yeah.
The Harriet Tubman movie was.
Yeah.
They wrote in a character that had
Made no
nothing-
sense.
Yeah, was
Yeah.
totally fictitious. You know?
Right. But because it's more about pushing an ideology, than
yeah. Mm-hmm.
actually being historically accurate. You know what I mean?
Right.
What do you think needs to happen in order for people? Because here's the thing: people are really baited by emotion, right? So they hear reparations, and let's be honest, right? Like most people are just thinking about the monetary side. That's
Yeah.
all. That's when they hear reparations, they're thinking,
I'm gonna get something.
I'm gonna get something
Yeah,
out of it.
yeah.
That's the only reason, because
You owe me.
Most of these people would never go to Africa,
Right.
You know, they don't care about those people.
They don't
over
even
there.
like Africans.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't care, but to understand
And Africans don't like them.
what was happening, because on that area, that coastal area there between Portugal, Spain, Northern Africa, and Central Africa, those were not the Fertile Crescent, but there were areas that were heavily traveled and fished and all this stuff. There was a lot of trading going on.
Yeah.
If you go back in history and you understand how these people within that region would have interacted with each other for thousands of years.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
not to mention that the Moors came through there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's where you get Morocco. That's where you get like this Muslim influence through that whole area. You know what I mean?
They were. I think a lot of people in the West don't understand the geography and the history.
Yeah.
And to understand that the practice of slavery would have essentially been almost like the modern market today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In how it's done right now.
That's why I was making the comparison to like, you know, people buying sneakers that are made by slaves in China. Like,
exactly.
You know.
Exactly. You're like, yes, you think you're buying a Nike,
right?
But the person who is locked in a tower making your shoes or
who can't even afford to buy them
Can-
themselves.
Yes. I saw a video of I guess I'm assuming it's a building where they had workers, and they're showing these workers. A British guy is filming and he's showing how these people live.
Mhm.
And I mean, it is wow.
Yeah.
I mean, but you don't care because you're getting the iPhone 11,
Exactly.
the iPhone 14. You know what
so,
I mean?
So 200 years from now, when they say that, you know, everyone who bought an iPhone was evil and you know, American supremacist, you know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be it's the same thing.
We're participating in the same concept, but a different thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because back in that time, you know, the eugenicists got together with the Christians at that time, some of the Christians, so-called Christian, to basically show that blacks and other races were lower. That's why I always say, when you go back and you read the original title of Darwin's book, it was not just the theory of evolution. It was the theory of evolution, and the preservation and the fight for survival, the preservation of the favored races. He was trying to explain why these races should be subjugated. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I just think people really don't understand how those old worlds work, because we only hear things from the king queen. We don't understand the tribal conflict or the intertrading that was going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. Same thing, different day. Like it's just a different spin. But you can see technology is growing, right? But if you look, like, what does over oppression or over submission to somebody's ideas that want to rule over you do? It causes a bunch of poverty.
Mhm.
And it causes you go back in time.
Yeah.
I think that's even what, like, a lot of Islam, when you look at it, is about, because it shows you like oppression in action.
Yeah.
You know, because let's be real, all Islam is taking the Bible and the stuff in the Bible from the Jews and the Christians and just saying, but let's take it and twist it. We're gonna take away the Jesus and the God, and then we're just gonna force you in these rules,
right,
beyond anything else.
Just submit, to submit.
And just to put things in perspective, to piggyback what I was saying, technology right now is computer technology. But back in those ancient world, technology would have been a sword, an arrow, tobacco, alcohol. That's what they were trading.
Horses.
Yes,
Even
they were
guns.
Yeah.
They were trading that. So you have to understand, like, we're thinking about it now from the perspective of this time, and we're feeling righteous over these people.
Mhm.
But imagine for those tribal kings, they've never seen the body armor of the Spaniards. They've never seen the flintlock guns. They've never seen these kind of things. That would have been the technology they would have traded thousands of people to get.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because what did they love, right? Power. And they were willing to subjugate their own people to do it, to keep power.
Well, isn't that what China's doing?
Exactly.
Subjugating their own people to get access to our technology. And
Right.
then
Which is what
counterfeiting it.
TikTok
You know
is.
what I mean?
Which is what TikTok is.
Yeah.
You know? TikTok is essentially alcohol.
But then they can then what they can do with TikTok is basically turn the opium situation on its head. Because back when the British were and America was pushing opium on the Chinese people, now they're pushing TikTok on us.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But this is a new level, because if you can capture kids' minds,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
You have them.
Look at this. Since we're speaking of that, look at this video. This dude breaking down what TikTok is.
Do you know which country made TikTok? China. Do you know that China controls the algorithm of what you see? Do you know this? If you're in America and you open up TikTok, if you're in Britain and you open up TikTok, there is a specific algorithm to reach you that is not in China. If you're in China and you open up TikTok, what the Chinese government wants you to receive as youth, as people using TikTok, are people who are doing good things, achievements, youth making social enterprise, youth becoming successful in math competitions, youth becoming masters of karate, youth doing something with their life. And you are rewarded. That algorithm is that the Chinese government makes you see positive things for social development. Did you know here and in the United States, China, send you a different algorithm? Do you know what they send you? All the nonsense that you see. They want you to see girls dancing, boys and girls dancing with each other, pranks upon your parents, pranks upon people. How many pranks do you see? Yeah, I'm not saying it's not funny. Some of them are downright hilarious. But if you want to destroy a nation, destroy a generation, you make them in their mind be rewarded with the dopamine for thinking stupid things are good, thinking that this is what you're supposed to grow up doing. A large proportion of people grow up thinking that this is what life is about.
Right.
But in China, they don't let their children think that. Next time you open up TikTok or Instagram or whatever, and you see this, understand that you are being played.
So that's the warfare. This is the warfare that's happening now. Like, the warfare is not about guns anymore. It's about the technologies, right? To get people cultivated in these things, to get them attached to it. And then they're feeding them what they want to feed them.
Didn't somebody try to ban TikTok in America?
Somebody. I remember somebody was trying to get ahead of that.
Hey, Donnie, you might.
Yeah, you, Donnie. Was it Biden? Was it Biden trying to ban?
He might have been sleeping.
Yeah. I think he thought TikTok was that song by Kesha, right? Why would we want to ban that, guys? Mom, you could take it down. Yeah,
I've heard a lot of people talk about that. Though.
Yeah, absolutely. It's obvious now,
right? And that's what I think. That's what we're trying to point out here is, yes, we're sitting up here now. Everybody's so righteous, right? But we're participating in the same thing, maybe with different technology, than those people hundreds of years ago participated in. You know what I mean? But now we're willingly giving over to it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And I mean, that's the point. Like, yeah, you're like what you said. We're so righteous. Like, or are we looking at our own righteousness and what we do that we're so blind to what we do? You know what I mean?
They are blind to what they do.
We are.
Like, we're looking at what we do that we're so blind to what we do.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, and it's all becomes vain.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, I heard. I'm going to butcher this joke, but I'm gonna attempt it anyway. It was a comedian, Chelsea Peretti, that said. She said, "I love talking to vegans." She's like,
I know. Yeah.
They say, you know, I hate that we have to kill animals to get food.
Yeah, she
She's
said something about the bees.
Yeah, she said the bees. She's like, But I don't give a shit about the Mexican that had to pick my arugula salad.
right. She's like, how many bees had to die for me to get this honey? But I don't give a shit about that Mexican who had to pick my arugula salad. Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah. It's so true, man. The fake virtuousness that's totally oblivious to what your own hypocrisy is.
Right.
Yeah.
Steve. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Steve Ranella, Liz watches this show, The Hunting, the Meat Eater.
Yeah.
He did an awesome one. He's a hunter, and he has a channel on Netflix, and it's actually really good because he hunts. He doesn't trophy hunt. He hunts to eat, and he consumes what he eats. But he talks about the whole process of it. And I actually like the show too, but he had a book release, and there was a if you could imagine what this guy looked like.
Oh, I can only imagine.
He had some questions about, the brutality of killing and hunting.
Right.
And he said, "Sir, I will absolutely love to answer those questions." He's like, "If you could tell me where did your shoes and your pants and all that stuff came from?"
Right.
Like you're asking me what's about the deer and what about this, but he was like, "Do you care about the kid that's sweating away in a factory in Bangladesh making this thing for you to wear, or your satchel or this like that?" You know what I mean?
Do you know how many animals were killed to farm your soybeans and make your soy hot dogs?
Right.
And
Answer
your
me these
vegan
questions.
cheesesteaks?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think the thing is not to be. It's not necessarily to be a smart aleck to them. It's to just place the same questions they're asking you.
Right.
Back onto them.
It's what Jesus said. Take the plank out of your eye before you try to take the speck out of someone else's.
Yeah.
To the measure that you judge, it'll be measured back.
Yeah. That's that simple concept.
Right.
Where that's what he's showing him. Like, listen, think about the things, and that's what Jordan Peterson, his concept of like clean your room is like, before you start going out there trying to advocate for things, what do you need to clean up in your house? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I think. I think that's key. Like, and that's what I believe that we're trying to show. Like, just going back into history, and you see like, oh, it's the same thing, different story.
Yeah.
So stop acting like, oh, the history of America. Come on, man. It's better than any other society. Like, come on. What are we talking about? Like,
you just did a Joe Biden.
Nobody.
Come on, man.
Nobody is righteous. Right. Yeah. But God.
Yeah.
And when we look at that, like, we stop measuring our own righteousness, and we stop measuring swords. You know what I mean? Like, everybody wants to talk about, oh, you can't judge me. Don't judge me. But then you judging everybody else.
Right.
You can't judge me. Oh, Christians are so judgmental. You know what I mean? And I think like something that I was talking to my mom about today. Like, we got Christians that are just so like they don't know anything and they're ignorant. And then they become so judgmental too. So they're like, like they'll see something and be like, the blood of Jesus. The blood of Jesus.
The blood of Jesus.
Like,
it just becomes a joke.
Yeah, and it becomes a meme, like a joke. Like, right. And I was talking to Mom about this because, like, if you look at the context of the blood, like people even like, we're praying, and we can attest to this, like praying and you're pleading the blood over everything. Pleading the blood over my family, pleading the blood over my house, over my car. Pleading the blood, just pleading the blood.
Blood of Jesus, my shoes don't get scuffed today. Now. Come on now.
Just pleading the blood. But like just as a, like, just straight up, like, understanding, that don't make no damn sense. You know what I mean? Like, the blood is more like a pleading in court. Like, it's something that if you know it, it's going to cover you.
Right.
Right? To the point where you're not under the accusations that they're trying to prosecute you for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you know that, now you're covered. Like, it's not like, because it makes no, like, what, God keeps killing himself for you? Like, it's not that. It's once and for all, the blood has given you access into a place that you didn't have access anymore. And that's what. So I'm saying it because it's about righteousness, right? So now you don't have to look and try to judge the world, and somebody's accusing you and you're accusing them. You're just caught up in some stuff. But really, you're just seeing like, oh man, this is a messed up world, and really the only solution is in God.
Right.
So I got to go to Him and come into a place where I get solutions that really matter, instead of looking at all the things that are going on in the world. Because we can pick apart the president, pick apart the country, pick apart all these things, and we'll be here all day picking stuff apart. Or you can say, look at this, look at that, look at the hypocrisy. We need God.
We need God. And it's something me and James been talking about a lot lately. Something I've said from day one on this podcast is like, that's why it's always about what can we do? What are we doing in our lives? What are we building?
Right.
Or what are we establishing?
And that's the point. Like, for me, it's about not what we can do, but what can I do because God has already done it. Like
I'm talking about what can we practically do? Like, what can we establish in this world to bring in the kingdom of God, to bring in, as we're going to Him, like in our family, in our community.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about really establishing a center with values, with core understanding amongst each other, amongst our family. You know what I mean?
Comes from Him.
Right, of course.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's backwards in the world. And even in the church a lot of times.
Yeah.
It's, all right, let me do these things. Or you can even come into solutions and then you start doing them and you forgot where they came from.
Right.
Like
that happens a lot.
You only got the revelation that got you to where you are because of what God did for you.
Mm-hmm.
Once you start, now you're taking that stuff to yourself. Like that's what the devil did. It's the same thing. We take these things and we're looking at now when we're looking at, like, look what I've done, and look at these peasants.
Yeah.
Look at these look at these people that don't get it, right? And now you're judging in that way. But it's like, okay, how can I relate to them to understand how I got where I got?
Yeah.
Or how I know what I know.
Yeah.
Or what I do, the reason why I do it.
That's the only way you can reach people realistically.
Because we got a lot of actors.
Mm-hmm.
That's hypocrisy. I was talking to my mom about this. Like, it's okay to be an actor. Like, that's what happens with Christians, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is they start talking about a whole bunch of stuff like they know what they're talking about. And then they get caught up in the world, realizing they don't know what they're talking about because they don't have the solutions for this stuff. And then they go and hide, and then they make their own subsets and subcultures and go away from the world.
Yeah.
And they have no effect on culture because they don't have no solutions. Right. It's okay to be a child and to act, because children act. You're not going to be mad at your kid because they're acting like a father and they're not a father, or they're playing house, or they're playing doctor or whatever. You're not going to be mad at them. You're like, oh, that's cute. Right. But eventually it comes a time where they got to grow into that stuff. You know what I mean? But a lot of Christians, they just acting and they cool acting.
Yeah.
And then they just get stuck there acting, and then they're mad at the world because they're calling them out on their acting, on their hypocrisy. Like, so that's like, you're looking at, you're trying to prove yourself in words that you don't understand the meaning of.
Right.
You're trying to prove yourself with a Bible that you don't have a grasp on spiritually. You don't have the meaning. You don't have the essence of it. So now you're just an actor. And I think that's a lot of the issue with the Bible that kind of alienates Christians from the world and makes them ineffective.
All right, let me show y'all this.
I need to stop looking at your screen.
I know.
I'm watching because this keeps on going. I'm trying to figure out what it is.
This looks like some.
I can't figure it out.
What's it look like?
Mormon stuff.
Pull it up, Mom. No, this
know.
isn't. This is actually like a PSA commercial kind of thing, but the topic is very interesting.
Okay.
PSA?
Yeah.
I've been into fashion since I can remember. But one day I had a stomach ache so bad I didn't want to do anything.
You saw this
The
then?
team at New York Presbyterian said it was actually my heart. It was severely swollen. something called myocarditis. But doctors gave me medicines and used machines to control my heartbeat. They saved me. So now I can become the next great fashion designer.
So
myocarditis is what?
It's an advertisement for a place that treats myocarditis in children.
And that's the issue that's been happening with the
vaccines.
The vaccine stuff.
But it's just interesting that they're advertising this now, especially for young kids.
Which has never been
That
a
has
problem.
never been a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But they tried to frame it as in like, just something that happens. It was just interesting that I saw that, like an advertisement
So
for.
they're doing the advertisement because obviously they see
There's money there.
There's money.
There's money to be made.
Lifelong patience.
Well, again, I think I mentioned this last podcast. Or I don't know if I just mentioned it to you guys. Before last year, the rate of deaths with athletes, professional athletes, like on the field or in action, I don't know what you call it, but
Yeah.
was like 25 to 30 something.
Yeah.
Right. Would be the average. And
I think you mentioned this at soccer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this last couple years, it's been 700s.
700s. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
over 700.
Yeah.
It's
I
never
remember,
happened
Yeah, I
before.
was there. I remember asking like
Was that at soccer?
where he got the numbers from
Yeah.
because I was interested.
Yeah.
Because it's man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now we're seeing advertisements about this. I saw a bunch of news articles talking about like women that are having heart issues. They're trying to attribute it to so many other things. Remember the one I brought up that said something about climate change was causing people to have heart problems? Like, what?
Paul Horner says the legal system won't be able to handle all the lawsuits coming down.
Oh, no,
the
they're
pipe
protected.
because of the mandates.
Oh, the mandates. Yeah, the mandates might be that people might be doing because there's already lawsuits in place because of that. I know. Isn't there a lawsuit against the military?
Yeah.
That's that just got pushed through. I think one of the judges allowed it to move to the next phase.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
know a few of them won already.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made them all do it.
Yeah.
And even
they removed any kind of exemptions. They
wouldn't give anything. Hospital one already. The nurses.
Yeah. The nurses.
Yeah, it's been a few. But yeah, the farmer's not going to be held responsible.
Did y'all see that cute little rap?
Do you think that was cute? I thought it was dumb as hell.
It was a little cringy.
It was so
It was
dumb.
cringy.
And I was gonna play this like this is why Republicans get nowhere. Ready? Here we go.
Like grandmom.
Here we go. You see this, Stan?
Nah. I might have heard it, but I didn't see this.
Hey, Utah District 12, listen up right here. There's a new name on the ballot for the Senate this year. My name is Linda Paulson, Republican and awesome. Love God and family and the Constitution. I tried to get another conservative to run. Nobody could do it, so I'm getting it done. I'm pro-religious freedom, pro-life, pro-police, the right to bear arms and the right to free speech. I want less government control and regulation, want to stop and expose all political corruption.
I'm voting for her.
Morality, accountability.
You don't live there.
I know.
Programs should lead to self-sufficiency and support traditional family as the fundamental unit of society. But in schools, they're pushing for new beliefs. And just to clarify this, because there's some who can't define this, as a female adult, I know what a woman is.
You know what's crazy? I understood everything she said.
Yo, but let's be honest.
It's cringy.
If she was a Democrat, y'all would be saying, "Oh, this is pandering. Oh, this is terrible."
No,
Why
it's
would
whack.
you? That so when I saw that, I was like, "What are you doing?"
I think it's just a cute little grandma. Though.
Yeah, but I would not have
She don't get no
advised her to
pass.
do
This
that.
is whoever thought that was a good idea needs to be fired. That was horrible.
You ain't reaching nobody with that.
Go ahead, Mom. Say it again.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah. Like that was just.
It's a cute
I like what she stood for.
Yeah, but she didn't have to do it in a rap. The horrible old 1984 rap.
Come on, man. She doesn't understand culture.
Somebody told her to do it though.
Yeah.
But if she was a Democrat, all of those excuses would be why y'all say it sucks.
It's terrible. Man.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, let's move on. Y'all, I'm tired of hearing y'all make excuses for terrible Republican candidates. So
that don't mean she's a terrible candidate.
Well, terrible campaign.
That was a.
You don't like the pandering.
I don't like
the pandering.
I don't like.
That's terrible.
You know she don't listen to that.
No,
she don't
no.
identify with that.
No,
She-
no.
like,
But I think
what is the even point? I don't even understand what the point of that is.
Sure,
Like
yeah.
who is she trying to reach with that?
I get what she's trying to say. I don't think it's as cringy.
No, I get what she's trying to say, but
Yeah.
what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
who from Utah that would
Yeah.
be following her is going to identify with that? Like,
Right,
oh,
right.
she's young and hip.
Yeah.
You know what she's trying to say, James, but Jamie's saying she shouldn't be doing it.
I'm saying
Doesn't
like
Utah
yo,
have like the most Mormons?
yes,
There's a lot of
but what
women
I'm saying is like any black person that's thinking about voting Republican is going to see that and be like, all right, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Like you lost them.
I would vote for her.
I hope not.
Yeah.
I hope it wouldn't take just that to say, okay, I'm out. But
No, I'm saying ones that are like
On
on
the
the,
fringe.
fence.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? The ones
yeah.
that were thinking about not going
Yeah.
Democrat this time.
right.
They're gonna see that and be like, never mind.
Yeah, that's the
Never
that's
mind.
the hot sauce.
Because
Hillary
they,
and hot sauce.
yeah,
That's
they can't admit to their friends that they voted for that.
yeah.
You know what I mean? No
I
bars.
did like the ending.
You did like the ending.
She said she's a woman.
She knows what a
What a
woman,
woman
is.
is.
Oh man, y'all are biased.
I think it's cute.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cute.
Yeah.
Nah,
I don't agree.
I don't like it.
That's why we have opinions.
No, I think she somebody obviously put her up to it, and you're right. She doesn't listen to hip hop, but I think it's just like anything. She made it. It's kind of silly. She knows she's silly, tongue in cheek. She's dancing.
But
in
you
it.
don't think that turns black people off?
Honestly, I don't
Might
think so.
turn some off.
I don't
but
think so. I think the
not
people. I think
everybody.
this right. I think if you're gonna find fault with that, you're gonna find fault with anything she does.
But I mean, it just feeds into the thing like black people say Republicans are so out of touch.
Right.
Like that would be
It's
if you
cringy.
saw Hillary Clinton do that same thing, what would you say?
That's what I'm saying.
Honestly,
hot
here's the
sauce
thing.
comment, man.
If that lady, versus Hillary, I know Hillary's pandering. This lady to me is someone put her up to this, and she's just kind of like a little tongue in cheek. You know what I mean? But Hillary knows.
She's not pandering in what she said.
No, she's
no.
But she's pandering in how she said it.
How she's portraying.
I'm
how
talking the
she's,
gesture. I'm talking the
Yeah.
the thing. When Hillary says, "Is it working?" Like to me, it's a difference. You know what I
First,
mean?
Donnie said, "I'm with Jamie."
Nah, I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah.
I think
Kamala and what was it, Snoop Dogg? Like, we know you're not down.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop trying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think. Yeah, she doesn't.
That's
have
my
that,
only thing.
Yeah, she doesn't have that thing where she's trying to be down. It's just something
Yeah.
cute.
It's just terrible rapping.
it's
That's
just
my only
terrible.
thing. Like, it's terrible rap, but she's standing for something.
Yeah.
Because that's the difference between her and Hillary.
I'm saying if she could have just went up there and said what she stood
Right.
for,
You don't
Right.
gotta
and not
do a
doing it in a rap song,
right. But
Well,
what
maybe it's working because people are talking
Yeah,
about
people are talking
it. and
about
It went viral. You know what I mean?
But I will say
she's
this.
Gonna get that vote, though.
Yeah, that doesn't.
It
but
doesn't, but
I will
it
say
doesn't mean
this.
that it's not.
Yeah.
Like,
more
she's
not,
saying
though.
stuff that people care about.
What? How though? How?
Jamie just said it.
What?
Because if you're on the fence about it, you're like, that's corny. I'm
But,
not-
but why
Yeah,
would you
but,
be?
But
maybe,
that's superficial.
Maybe they'll look into.
But most voters are superficial
Yeah,
like
you're
that.
right.
Yeah.
on the fence. He
You're
just
right.
said on the
Maybe
fence.
they are.
But-
Maybe they are.
I will say though, like when you look at somebody like Hillary, she's pandering, and she don't back up anything she says.
But they eat that pandering
I'm gonna
shit
tell
up,
you this.
though,
I'm gonna
don't
tell you
they?
this,
Like,
right? All right.
don't-
Here's why I think it's different. If that lady had a 2 Chainz cutout or a rapper with her, like I would have been like, all right, you're trying. But listen, they sell commercials with rap songs in it.
No, they do,
You
and it's
know?
always cringy, and black people always make fun of it.
Yeah,
and
they
they're
do.
like, "I'm not buying."
Now
Like,
I'm old.
Yes.
right? And I'm watching her.
Uh-huh.
And she.
You're not that
can't
old, by the
take
way.
her serious. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
who can
Like the
take
issues
that
she's
serious?
talking about, yeah, they're good. But
it seems silly.
The package
Like,
that you're putting it in
it's
is not.
silly. It's like like I said, it's most people are gonna look at that and be like, why?
Yeah.
Just
It's whack.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Like,
whack, though.
It's corny. But
I think she knew that. I think it's kind of
Right.
silly and.
I think y'all are giving her a pass. I think y'all
no,
are giving her a pass.
My only thing is that she's not doing what the left do a lot of times, where they're just trying to
Bring
go
on a rapper?
they're pushing themselves and just, you know what, she could be playing a caricature too. So I'm not, because
Don't
even
bend,
know
Jake.
her.
Don't
No,
bend.
no, because I see what you're saying. Because if she was doing the right wing caricature, it would have been she would have been up there, and I'm proud of this country.
Yeah.
She would have been
Yeah.
up there with
Cowboy
she would have
hat
had a
and
rifle in her
her
hand,
AR.
Listen,
and the American flag.
And she would have
around.
lost the black vote anyway.
Right. But what I'm saying is, that's why her doing that is just pointless.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
But okay, all right. Let's be PR for a second.
Yeah.
She's an older lady. She's running.
Yeah.
What would you tell her to get the minority vote? How would you?
Just stand on your values. Go
Yeah.
say it.
Be
You don't have
yourself.
to do a rap.
Go talk to them.
Like,
Don't rap. That would be my first advice to her would be don't rap.
Eyes come too far, as y'all
Don't
say.
yeah, and don't do any don't do that. Don't talk about hot sauce. Don't try to black it up.
Yeah.
Don't do any of that.
Right.
Paul said that was whack.
Yeah.
And
be
Donnie
yourself.
said they are really giving her a pass. That was cute to me.
Yeah, I thought it
She
was
seems
cute.
real family.
All right. Well, let's see if y'all think this is cute. We're gonna move on. So in I think this
Jake
is,
was with us, and then Jake jumped on the fence. I don't know.
what are you doing, Mom? What are you doing?
Wait a second. I'm not.
It's not over
Click
yet,
back
guys.
on the cameras,
I'm
Mom.
trying to
over
find
yet.
the camera part.
Ian said,
Jamie.
What did you do, Mom? There we
Oh,
go.
there we go.
No.
Ian said, leave that Pope lady alone.
Hold on a second.
So speaking of ladies, this is a clip that I saw from a school in Canada.
Oh yeah.
You seen this?
What
Yes.
the heck is this? I've only seen
terrible,
little things.
man.
So let's just show it. This is a wood shop class, of
I
course.
just wanna say
James,
something.
you can
I can
relate to
yeah.
this.
I just want to say something. The reason why I got all confused is because I got so excited that I pulled the thing down. I couldn't see where to click for when you put up your stuff.
You were trying to get that rap.
And I'm
I can rap
I'm
way
looking
better
for
than
it. I
her.
couldn't find it.
So let me get you guys' take on that. Do you think this is cute? And do
Okay.
you think this is someone just
Let me see. All right, go ahead.
this is a teacher teaching the class.
Is that a guy?
Yes.
Sir.
Excuse me.
Excuse me, sir. How this person
So last
identifies.
year, last year he was a man.
So how this person identifies is up to them, sir. Okay, so that is a teacher. If you can't get a good idea of what's going on here, I'm going to show you another angle
Okay.
of this person.
Why?
And those are fake, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this person
Meaning-
identifies as female, but makes it a point to where prosthetic
Yes.
Okay.
breastises
Yes.
Huge.
of this nature to school every day.
And wear tight things.
Yeah,
And the kids
with
are
the
seeing-
nipples
and
poking out
The kids
on
are seeing
purpose.
this?
Yeah, and the kids are seeing this and they're posting it on social media because
Shop teacher.
and
Is this
talking
person
about
trolling,
how
though?
awkward they feel.
No,
she's identified as a female, or he's identified as a female.
and then decides that this is how they want to be seen.
Yes.
Yeah.
But is it that thing that what that British dude did where he's trying to provoke something?
No, this is an
No,
actual
this is-
teacher. Like
And-
this teacher
and-
didn't ask to be posted.
Yeah.
The students were posting this.
Well, somebody's taking a picture. Look like she's
No, that's at the school.
Oh,
people are just taking pictures and posting it
And
because
because
it's so ridiculous.
He identifies as a woman.
First
the
of
school
all,
can't do
first of
anything.
all, the mask is not worn correctly.
I think this person is trolling just to.
Dude,
No.
I mean, the person is obviously trying to get attention. Obviously,
Right.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Which is why
wants
he's
people to say
wearing all
something.
that stuff.
Like, why would you wear breasts that go down to your freaking waist
Yeah.
as a prosthetic
And
prosthesis or whatever?
Huge.
yeah, and a tight shirt so that you can see the nipples.
And those
That's
are clearly and they're not even technically. Someone was breaking this down. Like, it's not even. You can't even call those technically prosthetics because prosthetics are usually assigned by doctors to replace things that have been removed from the body, and they're not. They're never.
Yeah.
They'll never be made in this nature where
It's a
it's like
costume.
a novelty. No, it's more of a fetish, like
Yeah,
sex
it's a fetish, yeah,
kind of
it's sex-
thing
sexual fetish.
that you're wearing to class in front of students on purpose
So it's
to
sexual
sexualize
abuse
yourself.
to these kids.
But this
Like,
is the
why
thing.
are they?
So
like,
after
and-
all this went viral, the school came out and wrote a whole statement about how like they're about inclusivity and people being
This is in
comfortable
Canada.
in their own selves and how they're
Oh,
they're
my
they're
God.
okay with this.
Yeah,
And you know what? You know what hit me right now when you said that?
What?
In the Bible it says, in the last days, what's wrong is going to seem right, and what's right is going to seem wrong. So everything crazy is happening right now.
Yeah.
They're
It
saying-
also reminds me of that Family Guy clip I sent y'all earlier.
yeah.
Did you watch that?
Yep.
I think
was
I
funny.
tried. I don't remember.
Sir, no point.
There's no something
no,
at the bar.
No corn at the bar.
There's no corn at the bar.
And it was like, it's okay, I'm transgender. Oh, in that case, do whatever you want all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get the feeling this person is trolling.
Dude, they're
They're not.
in class
They're not.
teaching like this in front of students.
Wow.
But it's just like those people coming up saying they're this animal, they're that. It's just crazy.
Right.
Craziness.
It's mental.
Yeah, like even like, what if a woman did this?
That's
Yeah.
what they were saying, that if it was a female teacher that got huge implants and wore tight stuff like that,
Yeah.
there would be a
It
problem.
would be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's a way you should.
And
be
these aren't
dressed.
even implants.
No.
No, they're
Actually, I think this
Is it
person
wood or
does
something?
have implants underneath of these. Like from the story that I saw.
Where do you even get that?
I forget the material they said it's made out of, but yeah, it's not.
He made it himself. It's wood.
That's what I
Now
was.
you can't compare little old rapping Republican lady to this. That's unfair.
I'll take the old lady now. I'm not with you anymore, Jimmy.
I was making a dumb comparison. It's not the same. I'm sure. I knew everyone was gonna agree.
Jamie's
with-
like, and I'll show you guys.
Let's see if you guys think this is cute.
Now clearly this is a disturbed, individual.
Yeah.
But I think part of it too is
All right.
they,
You can take
they-
it
they
down.
want you
Mom.
to
We don't need see
react.
that.
They want you to react to this.
Oh my God.
Yeah. They want reaction. They want it to be talked about. They want. Yeah. There's no reason why you would go to work looking like that.
Yeah.
Around high school kids.
Yeah. Imagine even if like the other way around, if like a woman who identifies as male transgender gets like a prosthetic penis with just like this giant bulge in their pants. Like
One thing I have noticed though, I don't know how. I mean, this is just my speculation. Is
I'm
the
curious.
the females who transition don't ever go as far as the males who do this. The men, the most they'll do is flannel shirt and a little butch cut.
Nah, some of them. Have you seen the ones that look like the ones that are all diesel and got beards and stuff?
But it's still
Yeah,
not.
I see what you're saying, though.
It's still
So-
the men.
It's
take
not
it to,
comical.
So what does that tell you? Like even with this dude, it's like a fetish thing. Right?
Yeah, the men take it to another level.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
what
It's like
level can the
they're
women
getting
take it to?
arousal.
Like
Like he's like the level Jamie just said.
Giant balls.
Yeah, like I don't think women go that far. I think
Because-
men take it.
But maybe because it's not even in the view, like it's
Yeah.
not in the like it. It's something that men don't. There's women that will do that.
Mhm.
You know, of course, it's in the minority.
Yeah.
but there's women who. Will
I
do
see
stuff
way
like
more
that.
men like
acting crazy.
Yes,
taking it too far.
Yeah, because clearly that's not even the autonomy of a.
Everybody's cracking up in the chat.
Right. Well, the man to take it to,
Donnie said, "Now, mom, get a pass on what just happened." What are you talking about?
When she was going crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I thought that was hilarious. I saw that on Twitter. I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, I did see something about that, but when I see that stuff, I just like whatever, ignore that.
Another story. These teachers on TikTok can't stop getting attention. This teacher posted up a TikTok. Pull this up real quick, Mom. Remember I was telling y'all about crying TikToks, how this is becoming like a thing? I was talking to y'all about this, crying TikToks. This teacher posted a TikTok of themselves crying because their students misgendered them.
She got a they on herself.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
How they...
Oh, man.
You got to have some grace for these kids. They don't know. They're confused. You look like a woman.
Man, people cry for everything.
But to me, it's like the fact that you need kids to validate you in that way.
Yeah.
Like you need it so bad.
It shows how immature you are.
Yeah.
Where's this at? Did it say? Is it in the U.S. or is it?
I'm pretty sure it's in the U.S., dude.
So is that a woman or a man? I don't get it.
It's a they.
Well,
Mom.
it's a
hello.
they.
It's right there on the button.
Yeah, but how are kids supposed to know?
Because it says it on the button.
They don't
she wore the button now probably because
tell it
because
the colors.
They don't know that she's or they's a they.
They don't need to know.
They's a they.
But here's the thing. She should not be a teacher.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because she's not.
I agree.
She doesn't.
With all the above.
Like, when we grew up, we had some. I won't say bad. We did have some bad teachers, but I mean, you might have some mean teachers. But what would your parents say? Well, you got to deal with it, right?
Yeah. Yep.
You got to learn how to deal with it. And what does that do? That teaches you not to be all like complaining and insecure about they're just mean. No, you need to learn how to deal with that teacher, right? And that was stuff that like I know it helped me, and like people I just didn't like, a teacher I didn't like, they were a little bit mean, but just learning how to get over it, and not get caught up in my own feelings.
Yeah.
But now you got teachers that are so caught up in their own feelings that they crying more than the kids cry.
Because of society, because it's all based off of feelings right now.
And what do we teach your kids? Like, why do 2-3-year-olds, what they call toddlers, they have temper tantrums?
Yeah.
Because they don't know how to process their feelings, especially toddlers that have been spoiled, right? They're even worse. They don't know how to process their feelings because they think they deserve everything their way.
Yep.
And that's what we're getting now. We're getting these teachers that are coming up, privileged, expecting everything their way. I'm a they, them, and if you don't.
Oh my God.
What?
No, I'm saying that.
Just ruin language.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
If you don't call me what I think and I feel you should call me,
you don't get your own pronoun.
Now I'm upset.
Paul said they should rap about it. You want to show that the clip you had, Jake, with Thomas Sowell?
Yeah.
All right, we'll make this the last thing. Okay. I'm gonna wrap it up.
It's getting late.
Often themselves, one of the biggest.
See, when you give me shorts,
they
don't let me start from the beginning.
Wow.
Like, it starts from wherever it was. You know what I mean?
Nordic shape. Let me play you a brief excerpt of Donald Trump himself. This is from the State of the Union address this past January.
This will be my first time to hear.
It's something I'm very proud of. African American unemployment stands at the lowest rate ever recorded.
Okay.
Oh my!
He produces a maybe the statistic isn't quite right. There maybe
No, it is. It is.
It is.
Yes.
And there you see a shot. You see Republicans standing and applauding, and there you see a shot of Democrats who are sitting on their hands, including many members of the Black Caucus.
Yes.
In Congress. What do you make of that?
That, as with so many other groups around the world, the leaders of groups that are lagging are often themselves one of the biggest handicaps of those groups.
Let me play you a brief.
Very simple.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, because it's not about actually succeeding at things. It's about only succeeding in the way we want to succeed.
Mm-hmm. Or my side doing it.
Right.
My side didn't do it, so I'm not going to clap for you.
Right. It's like someone who always wants to have the best ideas, and if someone else comes up with a great idea, they don't like it no matter what. You know what I mean?
They're jealous.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, isn't that kind of like narcissism?
Yeah. It really is.
Like, what kind of leaders are we producing?
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you have time to play the Trick Baby table scene?
Yeah, we can play it.
Let me find it. Trick Baby table scene.
Yeah, this was a movie I saw years ago. It's from the 70s, 80s? 70s, 80s.
It's you liberals who have lifted them up, Howard.
This one, right?
Yep, that's it. Go back. Yeah, start from the beginning.
Yep.
It's you liberals who have lifted them up, Howard.
Paul, you conservatives make a mistake. You can't afford to strangle hope in people. Without hope, people become dangerous.
No, Howard. You liberals have let them invade our society. You give them jobs, political jobs.
Paul, you missed the point. It's only the smart ones we move up.
That makes it even worse.
No, we have to move them up. If we leave a smart one in the ghetto, he might develop into a leader against us. But if we raise him up into white society, we neutralize him. He feels compelled to try to act like us. He loses his identity and his racial anger, if he has any. He becomes alien to his brothers. They realize he sold them out, and they grow to hate him. He becomes worthless to them and safe for us. No, thank you. In fact, in his love for the creature comforts, except for his color, he's become one of us.
And to me, what Dr. Thomas was saying about the Black Caucus members sitting down and not saying anything because they have a stake in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep.
They don't mind that they're selling out their own people. This table scene explains that right there.
Yeah.
He's explaining to conservatives, we have to do this.
Yeah.
Because if we don't, they'll rise up against us.
They'll be leaders in their own communities.
They'll be leaders in their own community. So
that's how you get a Black Wall Street. And we can't have that again.
We can't have that again.
Yeah.
You know, because what's going to happen? They're going to be self-sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
And when they come to us as a voting bloc, it's not going to be in the interest of minorities, women, blah, blah. They'll come as a bloc, and we have to address these issues specifically to them, and we can't do that. When we say minority, it's so broad that when we do offer anything, they'll be at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I always remember that scene because that's so powerful. Because I always wondered, like, who are these people like that wouldn't share Black unemployment? Who wouldn't be happy about that?
Yeah.
Well, not if they have a stake in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you have a stake in something, your interest is in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Making sure it succeeds because you get yours. You know what I mean?
I think that's the like devil characteristic. You know how it talks about you can't serve two masters, right? Well, you can't serve God and mammon, right? So mammon is connected to money, like, or the God over money, right?
Right.
So you'll only get, as a slave, you'll only progress in terms of your master, right? What kind of master do you have? You know, and you start to see that. You start to see the characters of these people based off of the character of who they serve. You know, and they're not for anybody. They're trying to keep you in bondage.
Yeah,
and that's the character of the master.
Right.
You know, where God, and it's Jesus said it like he comes to set you free, right? Who the Son sets free is free indeed. You're not always going to be a slave, right? The slave doesn't remain in the house forever, but a son does, right? As when you become a servant for God, you're actually a son, but you're a servant because you have to learn how to be a son,
right?
So that you can receive an inheritance, right? So that means you're going to receive everything that you have. It's almost like, you know how it talks about the teacher, like you'll never be greater than the teacher, but you'll be just like the teacher,
yeah,
right? Because you come into everything that they have,
yeah.
Right? But you can't be greater, and that's the difference between like the way people do things in the world, you know, and the way God does stuff. We can learn from everybody. Like, if I work for somebody, they might not be the best person, right? But if I do it with the mindset of everything they have that I don't know, that I can learn there, right? I can learn from them. They'll only take me as far as their skills and their mastery is, right? But if I have the mentality of this guy's an a-hole, this guy, he doesn't know what he's talking about, and he could know what he's talking about, but he's doing stuff behind my back. Like, all these things causes you to view them in the wrong way, causes you to disrespect even the things that they do know, even the things that they are skilled at, and then it makes you feel like you're justified in being evil or stealing from them or doing stuff to them, and it creates the same, and now you become a slave,
right?
Again, to a servant, to mammon, because you're judging, you know what I mean? And I think like people don't just become these things; they slowly become these things.
Yeah, yeah.
They're looking for ways out.
Yeah, small compromises here and there, looking for ways out, looking for alternative solutions, handling things your own way.
Yeah. But when God is like, when Paul's talking to the slaves, these people who are in servitude, he's like, don't do stuff trying to please your master in a self-serving way where you're trying to please them or speak nice to them to get what you can get out of them. Don't do that, but be genuine and do things as you're going to do it to God, right? Now you're seeing it in a whole different way. Like, you're not looking at what you're going to get is going to come from them, because it's not. What you're going to get is going to come from God. That's hard for people.
Yeah.
To move in that way. That's a different mindset.
Yeah.
You know? But when you work in that mindset, you become a true leader or a true master. And I really believe like that's what I think that people are learning how to be a master in that way, right? How to die to your own desires, how to die to what you see as an injustice, what you see as wrong, right? And honor them in a way where you're not doing it for them, you're doing it to God, but they get the benefits. You know?
Yeah, dude, it's hard I don't see many people learning that.
I think this is the time. Yeah.
I mean, I see some, but for the most part,
it doesn't take many.
Yeah.
I don't think it takes many.
But you know what really happens, though, is this. I think when you have a family and you have children, a lot of the times that's...
I think it's mom. Go ahead. It's just so noisy over there. Like you keep, I don't know what you're doing.
I think when you have children, especially if you do it in the union of marriage with the idea of building a family, a lot of times those things, the conservative mindset, not just in politics, I'm talking about the growth of family and all stuff like that, starts to make sense to you.
Yeah.
But when you don't have that and it's about vacations and purses and bags and sports cars and Jordans and all these things, those things distract you. You know what I mean? So I think if one of the things that we've lost our way in this society is the uplifting of the family unit, husband and wife, building a family. Because most of the guys we listen to, most of them have said once they started having a family, children, then they started seeing the world differently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you don't have that, you can't see the future for your children. You could care less.
Yeah.
It's almost like that's a reason why a lot of these ideologies are pushing people to not have kids.
To not have kids because it scares them. I mean, for me, it was a concern when I think of the world my children are going to inherit. It scares me. But what does God say about this?
Right.
Still carry on. Still go. You know, we can't live our life around that. Yeah.
But what if you go with that first? Like if you go in that fear and you go and putting that first, like my family, I think then you can be compromised.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think like what you're saying is key, but you have to put God. My point is you got to put God first because you can't, no matter what you do, you're not going to be able to save your family.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I'm just saying that I think a lot of people, when it starts to make sense for them, even if they don't think, they see their mortality through their kids,
right? Their perspective starts to shift
because a lot of people are pushing back on this narrative. This the media makes it seem as though it's more people on the other side, but I think a lot of people are pushing back on it. I have seen so much videos of kids with their grandmother and their mothers, with women and their sons or their daughters watching Andrew Tate's videos and saying he's right. Here's a secular person, unbeliever, and they're all like, this is crazy.
I had a bunch of
Andrew Tate.
Oh, you forgot about it.
So to me, when I see that, I say, whoa.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these younger people are like.
Think about that. This last string of elections where, like the Youngkin election, for example, like it was when people started realizing what was happening in the school system, and when who was the guy who was running against?
McCullough.
Yeah, when he said what he said about parents not needing to know what happens in schools, that woke a bunch of people up.
Yeah.
And they said, okay, nah,
this is ridiculous.
Wait a minute.
And you got to see that through COVID.
Yeah.
Right.
That possible.
Right.
Yeah.
So and that's not the answer because it woke them up to a sense of like, all right, maybe I need to pay attention.
Fear.
Sure.
But the point, the hope is that they can now go down a path where it can lead them to eventually seek God properly.
Which is what you were saying earlier about you and I talking, and I've shared this with you guys too. When you live in a town, you got to participate in that town.
Yeah.
Because if you don't go and you don't participate in that, you might be surprised at the curriculum that's get passed. Because if you don't go stand up there and you can voice your piece, by the way.
Yeah.
If there's enough pushback, they stop it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you don't go to these things,
they do what they want.
When they say here any nay, yay, nay, and they hit that, that's what it is. But that's what it is. When you have those things, you know, yes, it does come from the higher level, but you could push back on certain things. You can.
Yeah.
You know?
And even going into those realms of authority, leadership.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like I really believe it has to be like there has to be examples. Right? Like the more you see it, it makes more sense.
Right.
The more you see it in action, it makes more sense. But you can't just say I'm gonna be this. It has to be. That's why like I know the only answer is the church. Right? The only answer is the church that represents Jesus right.
Yeah.
And to represent Jesus right, you have to become a master. And the only way you're going to be a master if you become a servant. You know, you become a slave to God. Like, and that's like for people, it's like that don't even make no sense.
Right.
You know, how do I become?
Because they don't know what that means.
Right. Exactly. But it has to be understood. Like we're always trying to prove ourselves.
Yeah.
But once you realize that you don't need to, it sets you free.
Right.
And like I was saying earlier, like when we were talking, me and my mom were talking about the blood thing, right? Pleading the blood. Like you're putting a burden on yourself to feel like people feel like that they have to go through this magic ritual of like, you got to plead the blood over everything possible.
Right.
Over my car, over my family,
right,
over my, right?
Yeah. Right.
Right. And that becomes a burden.
Yeah.
Right. That becomes something you're doing, but you don't understand why.
Yeah.
It becomes, that's why I said it becomes like a magic
It's
ritual.
what it is. It's a mystical, magical thing that you just do.
But everything we do should be in understanding. You know, and in order to do that, you actually have to come. It's funny. You have to come under the blood. You know? And then you see it in a different way, and then you can be raised up in. What does the blood mean? It's the life of Jesus. He died so that we might have access into that life. And as we become a servant, we grow in that life, you know, and to become masters. And masters are the ones who bring real bring real peace and freedom in the earth. And I think we're at a pivotal time. Like, why are we being confronted with all this craziness? Because you got to realize who's going to step up.
Yeah.
Right? Who's going to step up and stand in the gap or do something, you know? And in order to do something, you got to know what to do. Right?
Yeah. Got to have a strategy.
And you can't just like...
Not this guy who looks like Jesus in a dress.
Yeah. I'm not even going to get to it because...
Know anything if you don't read the Word of God. Ask for wisdom and understanding.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It starts there.
Courtney says, real quick, I want to read this. Courtney says, family is everything. God has to be the root of the family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really where it starts. Like
Yeah.
I was saying, it starts with yourself. And that, like my mom said, like it starts with seeking and reading the Word of God and like really trying to dig in there and with a purpose and with the hope and expectation that God's going to reveal to you what your path is.
Yeah.
And then bringing that into your marriage, into your family, establishing that there, establishing that in our family, our brotherhood, our community, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In this community, the Young Lion community, like all of that, that's how you bring thy kingdom come. You know what I'm saying?
It's love. Like, love is sacrificial.
Yeah.
And in order for me to be sacrificial and love others, I have to first love the one who sacrificed his life for me, right? And come into that life.
Yeah.
So, but I don't really know how to love people in the way he loved, you know? Like if we're real with ourselves, like, do we have the capacity to love in that way? Do we have the capacity to lay down our lives in that way?
No.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Like, but can we get there? Yeah. You know, as we lay down our life with him, like,
Yeah.
all right, not my way. Cause, and our families show us that, like, having problems with your marriage, having problems with your kids, having problems with anything you're dealing with, work, right? Anything that goes on around you. Like, come on, you got to have some frustrations you're dealing with, you know? You can complain about it and talk about how everybody else is messing up and you got it all figured out.
Yeah.
Or you can realize that your frustrations are the point where you're not loving people. And then you can humble yourself and turn to God so that you can love in a way you haven't been able to love before. You know, then now you're leading, because leading is sacrifice. You know, I think that's the key. Leading is sacrifice. So then you become a master, right? But in the world, it's upside down. You don't become a master by dying. You become a master by raising yourself up, right?
Yeah.
Raising yourself up by your bootstraps, you know. That's how you become a master. You do it for yourself and you show everybody how you did it. But that's not humility, that's pride.
Right.
You know. And there is there some wisdom in that? Yeah, but it's not the fullness of it. You know, like there could be some wisdom in what somebody does. But that doesn't mean that they know what it took to die, right?
Yeah.
So.
All right. We can wrap it up there, guys. We're at almost 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Hey.
Yeah. It was good, man. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks everybody who's been commenting, chiming in. We appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget, we need y'all support. We don't get any help from the algorithms. And shout out to everybody if you're watching on Twitch right now. We're streaming on Twitch tonight. So we're on Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. But yeah, we need support to grow this thing, grow this kingdom, grow this ideology to those that are willing. So patreon.com. What?
Can I ask something real quick?
Yeah.
We got a few people still on, but I wanted to say, if you guys want to talk about some stuff, if you guys have some questions, like send us send us your questions in the DM us, right?
Yeah.
DM us your questions. And, things that you want us to talk about or things that you're like, maybe you want to know, and we'll do some research on it and we'll talk about it. And let us know. But it's cool to, see what you guys want to talk about. So I just want to say that.
Yeah, man. But thank you guys for watching. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure you, if you haven't already, hit that like button. Share the video for us, please, if you're not afraid of people knowing that you watch us. And then listen, patreon.com/youngliontv. Head on over there if you really want to sign up and become a member and, just give to the cause of what we got going on here. We're just using all of that stuff to build upon this and establish more of this. We're going to start, trying to promote it through Google and all that stuff. Also, subscribe on our YouTube channel if you haven't yet, because we're trying to move kind of off of some of these other platforms. YouTube, subscribe on Twitch, and Rumble. And Cash App if you want to throw a little donation at us. And Jatan.com for music and merch. And I think that's it. Anybody else got anything to say before we get out of here?
That's it.
Cool. Thank you, Mom. You did a great job.
I messed up. Sorry.
No, you're good. Thank you. You did a great
Thank
job.
you, Mom.
You did a great job. We love you. And peace out to everybody. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Young lion, go live, yeah. Young lion, you rich, yeah. This kingdom has room, yeah. Go and fight people in.